NBA Finals. Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray became the first duo to post 30-point triple-doubles in the 109-94 win, dousing the Miami Heat amid the palm trees of Kaseya Center last night. Nuggets take the 2-1 series lead. Heat looking to get back in the win column when they host Game 4 of the Finals tomorrow. The 305 also welcomes international soccer superstar Lionel Messi to South Beach as he announced Wednesday his commitment to enter Miami CF after his departure from Paris Saint-Germain. Florida Panthers also host the Vegas Golden Knights in the Sunshine State for Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final tonight. Knights lead that championship series 2-0. Back on the left coast, gotta rack up Nevada's special session on the A's relocation, highlight the latest alien free agency notes, and tap into some Cattles and Ramie Thursday funkiness. If you miss anything, rewatch the fun over at Sactown Sports' very own YouTube page or download the show wherever you enjoy podcasts. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Welcome back into Cattles and Ramie.
Not the boring, generic milquetoast stuff coming from the network in Connecticut.
I describe him as the best, obviously.
Cattles.
He throws it out there. Speaks his mind. That's cool.
And Ramie.
He's supposed to make people laugh. He's just an expert at it.
Cattles and Ramie. Live and local in the afternoon.
Sactown Sports.
Did it. You got it.
Let me brag about myself for a minute.
Look at you.
Again.
Dude, I walked into this building 10 minutes ago, and I realized that I was supposed to be recording something with Nate downstairs that you were doing.
Little social media thing.
Yeah, a little Kings thing.
Yeah.
And I realized this at roughly 1:52. So I ran downstairs, jumped in the seat that you were sitting in, put the microphone on my hoodie. Answered Nate's questions
Succinctly.
Microphone off, yes. Grabbed my bag, ran back up the stairs, and by the time I'm walking down the hallway, the air little thingamabob outside the studio is off.
You're a beast. You're an absolute beast. Proud of you.
Get my workout in early today.
All we do is win here on the Cattles and Ramie show.
All we do is win.
Win.
Another one.
Another one.
Maybe not Kyle, but the rest of us.
No, Kyle too. We love him.
All right, we're 2 minutes into the show before I caught a stray.
Love is strong. Love's a strong word, Simone.
And we have it.
Love you too, Nick.
Tolerate might be a better word in this instance.
Wow, it didn't take long. It really didn't. Kyle's right. It didn't take long.
I do what I do. I do what I do.
It's got to be a record.
I try my best.
I haven't even done something to piss him off yet.
That's right. JJ is out today, obviously. And we got Simone behind the glass with us as well. And Ramie, as always, with me here on this beautiful Thursday.
It is beautiful.
We are going to give the show to Simone later on for a segment, which frightens me. We'll see how that ends up. It could go so badly.
It could be in great hands.
It could go really, really bad.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm warning people right now. Even though it's almost like 3 hours away, I feel like I need to give you all the warning.
I'm looking forward
Simone will be taking over the show for a segment. We have no idea what to expect.
I'm here for it.
Meanwhile, we start the show with the finals. Of course we do. Game 3, Denver Nuggets win a big, big game. Simone, during her headlines yesterday, had that stat where it's, I don't know, a pretty high percentage of teams that win Game 3 in 7-game series end up winning the series. So Denver with a nice big win last night to go up 2-1. It was a fairly easy win. It wasn't really, any kind of excruciating circumstance or tough to deal with, a fairly easy win. And Ramie, I think what stood out to you the most stood out to the most of us, which was Miami from the field, shooting-wise. They were struggling last night.
It's not profound. I know. It's not profound, but you don't, and especially with this Miami team, man, you don't make shots at a very high rate, and you're just not going to win. Not against this Denver team. And it wasn't just the three-pointer, Nick. They weren't hitting the three-pointer yesterday again, but in the paint, in the restricted area, Denver was 20 for 29, 69%. Nice. While holding Miami to 8 for 23 in the restricted area. They were 8 for 23. They shot 34.8%. The Nuggets, 60 points in the paint, almost doubled the Heat's 34. And they had a 58 to 33 advantage in rebounds as well. I talk about this a lot. I talked about it throughout the King series. It's often about who's going to get more shots. And not only did the Nuggets get more shots last night, but they shot it at a much, much higher clip than the Heat, who couldn't buy a bucket from beyond the three-point line or from inside the restricted area. And when that's the case, they have zero chance to win a basketball game. And you're right, Nick. Throughout that game, there was really no chance for the Heat. The Nuggets took control of it early. It got closer and more of a blowout throughout the game, but you felt like the Nuggets had that game in control for pretty much the entire night soon after that thing tipped off.
No doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. You felt that way watching that game. And there's a through line for the Miami Heat this postseason. It's rather easy. If they shoot incredibly well from three, they win games. If they don't, they lose most of those games. They need to be shooting like 45% or better from three to give themselves a chance because they don't have as much talent. And when you are trying to make up that much talent, you need to shoot very, very well, which they did against Boston and the wins against them. They did against Milwaukee and the wins against them. And they did in game 2 in Denver. They shot the lights out in Denver from three-point land. So it's a part of that, and it's also the others. We talk about the other guys. And for the Heat, because, again, you don't have overwhelming talent, especially with, Jimmy Butler. He's been going a little off and on with his aggressiveness, off and on with his shot making. Bam Adebayo has been somewhat inconsistent since late in that Boston series. You need the other guys to step up. And last night, Ramie, between Kevin Love, Max Strus, and Gabe Vincent, your three other starters in that game last night, aside from Butler and Adebayo, those three guys scored a combined 16 points. They shot 5 of 22 from the field. They shot 4 of 15 from three-point land. If those players play that way, this series is over in 2 more games.
Yeah.
This is going to be JJ's gentleman sweep.
Yeah, because that's been what's gotten them here is the combination of, and I said that's what they would need to win this series. The combination of playoff Jimmy showing up consistently, and Jimmy Butler was solid last night.
Yeah.
11 of 24. He finished with 28 points on the night in 40 minutes. Honestly, I didn't think he should have played 40 minutes. I'd have pulled him out of that game earlier than Eric Spoelstra did, just so he has fresher legs moving forward in the series. But Jimmy Butler was good last night. But I said from the jump, Nick, they were going to need playoff Jimmy to show up night in, night out, and they were going to need the rest of these guys to continue to surprise us. The Gabe Vincents and the Max Struses of the world were going to need to continue to surprise us and contribute in a big way. And a lot of that coming from beyond the three-point line. And they shot 31% from three yesterday, Nick. The Heat won't win most games, almost every game where they shoot 31% from three. And they're certainly not going to do it against the likes of Jokic and Murray, who were absolutely at the top of their game last night.
We've mentioned this before. Cattles and Ramie here on a Thursday, Sactown Sports. Miami, what they're doing shooting the basketball this postseason is historic.
Yes.
That's not hyperbolic. When you look at the numbers, when you look at the volume of threes that they're taking to go along with how they're shooting in their wins especially, this is something that is historic. And if you fall short of that, you're likely going to lose. You're likely going to lose the series if you don't keep that up. And that's very, very difficult to keep up. Meanwhile, here was Jimmy Butler in the postgame talking about the lack of energy from his team.
I don't know. I can't answer that. Maybe, we're at home. We think we did something. I don't know. It just can't happen. It won't happen again. It starts with myself. I got to lock in on a defensive end. I got to go up and get loose balls. So I think if I start playing and doing that, then everybody else has to follow suit.
My takeaway, and I agree with Jimmy, the energy wasn't there at all times. You saw Denver winning a lot of the 50-50 balls, doing a lot of the little things that Miami also has to do to win this series. Denver's response is what stood out to me. I thought their response was excellent. You lose game 2 at home. What you want to do is what they did last night. Game 3 in Miami, you walk into that building and you take control of the series again within 25 minutes of game time. That thing was over. And that was a statement. That was a statement win. They were more disciplined last night than they were in game 2. They were more aggressive, especially Jamal Murray early on in this game than they were in game 2. That is a championship response on the road, and especially a championship response from your two best players. Nikola Jokic went for 32, 21, and 10 for the triple-dub. Here was Jamal Murray in the postgame talking about the synergy he has with Jokic.
He's just reading the game and trust that the other's going to make the right play. If he throws it to me, he knows and expects what to see from me, and he knows the mood I'm in, the intensity I'm playing with, whether it's low or high, time and score, and vice versa.
So they have that synergy. They have that two-man game. Not only did Jokic have a triple-double, Ramie, but so did Jamal Murray. He was 34, 10, and 10 last night. Here was the joker on his teammate.
He's playing phenomenal. I think the whole playoff, and we're just following him, like I said, and he's really good leader. His energy is amazing, and we are just following.
Yeah, they're following Murray. So here are some stats.
I love that Jokic is putting up triple doubles regularly, like literally averaging a triple double of the playoffs. He's like, oh yeah, no, we're just following that guy. He's up there with the most humble superstars that you'll come across.
Especially when I give you this stat. 30, 20, 10 playoff games in NBA history. Jokic has 2 of them in 2023. Jokic had another one in 2021 in that postseason. Only 2 other guys have done that. 1970, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. 1967, Wilt Stilt.
I think Lisa Salters, I think it was that stat. She brought up some stat, some historic thing, one of the many historic things that he's done in this playoff run to him after the game. And she said, what does that mean to you? And he went, not much.
I think Lisa responded after. I had a feeling you'd say that.
He really doesn't care, man. The guy just wants to hoop. He just wants to go out there and hoop, and he doesn't want all the hoopla and all the spotlight. He doesn't care. I mean, he wants to win a championship, and I'm sure the MVPs are somewhere on display in a special place or whatever, or maybe at mom and dad's house. I don't know. But the dude just wants to hoop and is very okay with deflecting some of that shine and praise to Jamal Murray and the rest of his teammates. We're following him. Get out of here.
It's the first 30, 20, 10 game in finals history from Jokic last night. And Jokic and Murray were the first pair of teammates with a 30-point triple-double ever. Just ridiculous.
Ever?
Just ridiculous. If Murray wins the battle against Butler, Denver's going to easily win this series. So your thoughts on Game 3 last night, hit us up at 916-339-1140. That's the text line. Phone number is 1-800-920-1140. Coming up in 90 seconds, we have some big-time breaking news that is likely to impact the Kings offseason. We'll get to that in 90.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton. See all our inventory and specials at AcuraofStockton.com.
The PGA Club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Live and local in the afternoon.
They always keep you on edge.
Cattles
and Ramie
on Sactown Sports. When it breaks,
we have it first.
It's Sactown Sports breaking news.
All right, so we got some big-time breaking news here, which is not good news, at least on the face of it, from what we know right now for this Kings off-season, Ramie. We've spent a lot of time talking about Sasha Vezenkov. We spoke about him earlier this week. He suffered an injury today. It's an apparent right knee injury. He suffered the setback in Game 2 in the series that Olympiacos is in the middle of now. Vezenkov was visibly in pain. He received assistance to the locker room. He was carried off of the floor. The EuroLeague MVP, left the arena before the end of the game to have an MRI, which will determine the extent of the injury. Now, I don't want to be too panicked just yet because we've seen guys hurt their knee, get carried off, and you think, oh no, you think the worst, and then you find out it's a hyperextension, it's an MCL. So I don't think we go too far with this. But this is obviously big news. We've covered Vezenkov a ton. The Kings have sent a number of people from their front office. They've sent a contingent of people across the way to see Vezenkov play. And there's been a lot of thought that Vezenkov could be one of the bigger targets of the Kings this offseason and fill a hole at least off the bench, maybe even fill a hole of Harrison Barnes. And now, Ramie, we get news from the game he played today that he suffered an apparent leg injury. And by the way, thanks to Deuce Mason, who found this story at basketnews.com. I saw him tweet it out, which alerted me to it. But now we have Vezenkov apparently suffering a knee injury and being carried off of the floor. And it sounds like he was immediately taken to a hospital to get an MRI on that knee.
And yeah, Nick, you're right. This if this is serious, if this is something that would keep him out long term, this definitely could change the Kings offseason plans. They didn't send Mike Brown and Monty McNair and everybody else that they sent over there to watch this guy play and to talk to him because they weren't interested. I get the sense that he was plan A. You know what I mean? In terms of offseason acquisitions and major pieces that they planned on adding to the roster this year. And I'm sure as good organizations do, there's a plan B, C, and D, and maybe a few more. So it's not the end all be all. First of all, we don't even know what the injury is, how serious the injury is, but should it be something that keeps him out long term, it's not the end all be all. And I hate to be really cold about it, but just from the business of basketball standpoint, the timing of this is fortunate because it's not like this happened middle of the offseason and you already had him signed and the free agent market had dried up. You know what I mean? Whatever plan B, C, and D is, it's still out there and it's still an option and it hasn't been nixed by other teams snatching guys up off the market. So you hope for the best. Can I ask a question though? Why is he still playing? European sports make no sense to me. Like we talk about rest and downtime and load management. Is it just me or does European soccer and European basketball just never end? They just played the EuroLeague championship 2 weeks ago. Now it's the Greek League finals. How many leagues is this team and Sasha Vezenkov in? And when exactly is the offseason, man?
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't understand why he's still playing basketball.
We have to update that bottom ticker. Let's make sure it's a knee injury, not an ankle injury. We also misspelled receive. So.
Well, the tweet that I saw said ankle, but then when you open the article, it says knee.
Yeah.
I made the same mistake you did, Ramie.
Yeah.
It's an apparent right knee injury. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on this. Again, look, we don't know the extent of the injury, right?
Let's panic anyways, though.
We don't know. You want to run around the room? Just go look crazy. Say, we don't know the extent, but here's what I'll say. Look, out of precaution or whatever, you've got to take this pretty seriously because he was carried off the floor and he immediately went to a hospital for an MRI. I will also say that, you know, when somebody, and I'm not saying this is what happened to him, okay? I'm not saying this is the injury. I'm not saying he tore his ACL, but when you tear your ACL, you can get that diagnosed pretty much on the spot. So they would already know if he had an ACL tear. The reason why it wouldn't be out there just yet is that they would be getting that MRI done to confirm the initial diagnosis on the spot because they can check the knee and they know pretty much right away this is an ACL. So we'll see what the injury is. But Sasha Vezenkov suffers an apparent knee injury to his right knee, carried off the floor during his Olympiacos game a little while ago, taken to a hospital for an MRI. Couple of other things. You mentioned
Did you see
Ramie.
the video of him being carried off?
I did.
He is actually carried.
Yeah, they carried him down through the tunnel.
Yeah, there's no weight bearing.
Here's what I will say. I agree with you as far as the timing goes. Look, absolutely nobody wants anyone to get injured.
Yeah, I hate to be that dude,
but if you're going to get injured, it is certainly better to get injured right now because, as you mentioned, the Kings can now pivot to whatever plan B was or plan C.
Mm-hmm.
So now, they might want to, example, they have a free agent on their mind that they might be willing to pay $7 million. Well, now with this injury to Vezenkov, they might be more in line to offer that player more money and, win that negotiation against other teams and maybe pay a little bit more than they should. But now that they know Vezenkov might be, really hurting and they'll have an idea within the next few days.
Yeah.
They can pivot and pay maybe a little bit more money for somebody to replace that piece that they thought Vezenkov was going to be.
Right. Again, honestly, for him, the timing is also fortunate. If he wants to play in the NBA, and depending on the severity of the injury, better happen now, and you have that much time to recover and go through whatever rehab. Hopefully, not much that he's going to have to go through. There is a silver lining in the timing of this. While you wish it never happened, there is a silver lining in the timing of this happening now.
And we'll see if this is a situation again of whether or not it's an MCL or something else. Again, it could be a knee hyperextension, but here's what I would say. I don't think they would rush him to go get an MRI if they thought it was just a hyperextension. Now, maybe. Again, they could be extremely cautious and wrap him in bubble wrap and get him to the hospital and say, let's just run all the tests we can run. So, again, we don't have an idea as far as what the specific injury is. We can just tell you. We can just tell you that he was carried off the floor. He's getting an MRI to the right knee. Looked like it could be serious. I know some people are already kind of reacting to this. Dwayne Baker said if it's an ACL, then bad news for Sasha. Not necessarily bad news for the Kings. There are younger guys that they can plug into that slot. Well, let's not get it twisted. They want Vezenkov.
Yeah. Like I said, they're not going through all the machinations that they've gone through since the season has ended to not try and bring this guy over here. I like I said, it's not the only plan, but I'm pretty sure he's plan A.
Yeah, there's, you're not investing the time and investing the resources that they have invested to recruit this guy for all intents and purposes, unless you really, really want him. And we heard Mike Brown talk about him when he went to go see him play several weeks ago, talking about how he's a perfect fit and, really waxing poetic about the young man. So Mike Brown certainly sounded like he wanted Sasha Vezenkov here in Sacramento. Tim E making it sound like we're freaking out here. I don't know what show Tim E's listening to, but he said, ain't nothing until more is known about Sasha.
Through all possibilities.
The way forward is never. No hand wringing until you know. Give the boys a chill pill. I don't know what show you're listening to. We're not panicking. We're not freaking out.
You can't even see my hands to know I'm wringing them.
We're telling you what we know. Would you like us to ignore the fact that Sasha Vezenkov injured his right knee, got carried off the floor, and is now having an MRI? Would you like us to ignore that story as if nothing happened until we get news of whatever the injury is? That's not how the world works. So I don't think we're going crazy here. We're letting you know what happened to Sasha Vezenkov. And, if any new updates pop up, if anything more significant shows up, we will certainly give you that information as well. But
then
your thoughts?
Will panic. Then you'll hear panic.
Yeah, like
through your speakers.
If it ends up being a pretty bad injury, then yes, I think you've got to start thinking about those contingency plans.
Yeah.
But your thoughts on this injury? Sasha Vezenkov carried off the floor in his latest Olympiacos game earlier today. It's a right knee injury. He's been taken to a hospital, and he is receiving an MRI. I don't know if we'll have any word by the end of today what the injury is, but that's the latest. Your thoughts on that? 916-339-1140 is the text line. The phone number is 1-800-920-1140. Also, don't forget, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Give us that thumbs up. Cattles and Ramie giving you the breaking news. Give us the like for that. More likes, more eyeballs means an awful lot to us. All right, we'll get to your reaction about Vezenkov's injury. Also, 2 NBA questions at the heart of this week's What If I Told You coming up next.
The Kings season might be over, but Sactown Sports coverage never stops.
Guys on other teams, when they look at the Sacramento Kings, they feel that this is a fun brand of basketball to play.
Stay tuned all off-season to Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Byers Enterprises.
I'm Dirk Verdorn in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Expect to have enough sunshine this afternoon to help warm temperatures into the lower 80s for daytime highs, and a nice delta breeze picking up by later on this evening, anywhere from 15 to 20 miles per hour. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
To protect your home from the top down, start from the roof line up. Get clog-free Byers Leaf Guard gutters, fire-safe roofing from Byers Roofing, and power your home with Byers Solar. Act now for $500 off Byers Leaf Guard gutters at thatsbyers.com.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with 0 down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
0 down with approved credit. Inflation has pushed up the cost of just about everything, which means if you bought life insurance a few years ago, it might not be enough to protect your family today. Now is the time to get the insurance you need at a price you can afford. In a hurry? Don't worry. Call Select Quote now and get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam. That's right. You can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam in under an hour.
Call Select Quote at 1-800-613-8990. That's 1-800-613-8990. Or go to SelectQuote.com now and get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam. That's 1-800-613-8990. Or go to SelectQuote.com now.
Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Hey guys, did you know June is Men's Health Month? Prioritize your health and address those issues you've been ignoring. Revive Men's Health Sacramento has guaranteed low T and ED solutions. Book your free exam and T-check today and save $199. And find out how you can get a free 1-month supply of custom ED medication. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Denver Nuggets clapped back in historic fashion last night for Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray became the first duo to post 30-point triple-doubles in the 109-94 win, dousing the Miami Heat amid the palm trees of Kaseya Center last night. Nuggets take the 2-1 series lead. Heat looking to get back in the win column when they host Game 4 of the Finals tomorrow. The 305 also welcomes international soccer superstar Lionel Messi to South Beach as he announced Wednesday his commitment to enter Miami CF after his departure from Paris Saint-Germain. Florida Panthers also host the Vegas Golden Knights in the Sunshine State for Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final tonight. Knights lead that championship series 2-0. Back on the left coast, gotta rack up Nevada's special session on the A's relocation, highlight the latest alien free agency notes, and tap into some Cattles and Ramie Thursday funkiness. If you miss anything, rewatch the fun over at Sactown Sports' very own YouTube page or download the show wherever you enjoy podcasts. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Welcome back into Cattles and Ramie.
One brings Makloff magic, while the other, we're still trying to figure that out.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
We'll get to what if I told you in a minute or so. We got TCG weighing in on the Sasha Vezenkov injury that just happened. If you're just joining us, apparently Sasha Vezenkov injured his right knee during the game he was in earlier today. He was carried off of the floor down the players' tunnel, and all we know right now is that he is at a hospital getting an MRI on said right knee. We don't know the extent of the injury. We don't know the significance or seriousness of the injury, but obviously getting carried off of the floor and, having an MRI should tell you that there's at least some concern that this could be a significant injury.
Sure.
We'll wait and see and find out what the doctors say, but this will impact the Kings offseason dependent on what injury we're looking at. I mean, if this is a serious injury, then, Monty and company now know that Vezenkov might not end up playing this season.
Freaking out, Nick.
You
Calm
think
down.
so?
Just relax, all right?
Firing the alarms?
Jeez. Just settle down.
Try not to get ahead of myself.
Good Lord. We don't even know yet. We're over here panicking.
So we'll see what happens. But, the one silver lining, if there is, and obviously you don't ever want anybody getting injured, but we mentioned this last segment. If there is one silver lining, then it's the timing, because as I just tweeted at Nick C Radio, Monty will have plenty of, time to pivot to another plan if the Vezenkov injury is serious. He will be able to adapt, adjust, and make the correct, changes to the plan to get the most out of this offseason that they can. TCG, youtube.com, Sactown Sports, 1140. This injury may have cemented Vezenkov coming to the Kings now. He will want to jump on the money before his opportunity disappears. So that's an interesting angle of this as well. A possibility of, hey, man, we heard that Vezenkov wanted to net at least $5 or $6 million from this deal with the Kings on a per year basis from the reports we covered yesterday. Now the whole $9-10 million might be way too big of an ask because of, this injury. And if I confused people, because I first said $5-6 million and then said $9-10 million, it's because of the net. Again, you got to pay somebody about $10 million for them to net $5 million in the NBA between agents and taxes and all the other stuff. You pretty much cut their pay in half. So if Vezenkov wants $5 million a year to be here net, that means he wants $10 million a year gross per year to be here with the Kings. And now maybe, Ramie, I don't know if you would agree with this, but I think TCG's point is this will kind of place Vezenkov into a cold reality of, hey, man, if you want to go to the Kings, anything can happen. You might not get the money that you want, but if you want to play in the NBA, this is a reminder there's always some risk if you don't pull the trigger.
I mean, if this isn't like career altering, you know what I mean? A type of injury, which again, I'm not saying it is. And no, I'm not paying. As long as it's not that, I think it's probably best for Vezenkov and the Kings that you just put off him becoming a King till if it's long term, but not like career altering. Let's say he's out 8 months, a year, whatever the case might be. I think you're better off with the new CBA next year, a little more cap room, easier to bring him over and add him to whatever you added this offseason. The Kings, if he's not ready to play on opening night or soon thereafter, I think the Kings are probably out on Vezenkov for next year.
Now, this also, look, Vezenkov has been talked about an awful lot as a possible piece here, but he's not the end all be all. He's not a supermax talent. He's just a guy that seemingly would really help the Kings offensively, especially if he came off the bench. And he's a guy that seemingly fits really well alongside Domas. So it's not like, a massive, they can't possibly, pivot to something as good as this kind of moment. It's just this guy has been the focus so far because, we're still a few weeks away from free agency. We're 2 weeks away from the draft tonight. He's been the focus of the conversation. And you would have liked to wrap up Vezenkov as early as possible so then you could move to other things on your list that you want to address this offseason.
Yeah, I think We talked when you were out, Nick, Jay and I, about what's fair to expect from him. And I said an upgrade on Trey Lyles. Maybe something on the level of what Keegan Murray did in his rookie year. But I think even that is a lot to ask of the guy. An upgrade on Trey Lyles isn't something that, heck, you could bring Trey Lyles back, and he filled that role very, very, very finely for you last season. But getting somebody who's an upgrade on that, I don't think is something that's super hard or near impossible to find on the free agent market if it's not going to be Vezenkov.
All right, let's get to what if I told you, and we got a couple of NBA things. We'll try to squeeze them in here. First of all, we had all the CP3 reports yesterday. He was going to get waived. He was told he was going to be waived. Then he wasn't told he was going to be waived. He could be traded. He could be waived to go somewhere else. He could be waived and then re-sign with the Suns for cheaper. All sorts of possible scenarios and hypotheticals being reported out there yesterday. Here was Ramona Shelburne on those reports speaking to Mason and Ireland on ESPN 710.
He can totally still play. He just can't be your best player. He can be your third or fourth best player. That's why I'm kind of surprised. But listen, I'm simultaneously texting like 4 people as you just read that to me because it's really shocking.
Right.
They don't do that unless they feel pretty good about somebody else. And I want you to keep your eye on James Harden. Okay. This,
Interesting.
I don't want to report anything, but that was in the wind for the past month or so.
Interesting. So, Ramie, what if I told you James Harden, Phoenix Sun?
Okay. Fine. I don't care. Big deal, man. James, somebody's going to pay James Harden way too much money this offseason. I know we're gonna do some buy or sell later in the show on some of the top free agents out there on the market. So I'll give you a dollar number then. But somebody's going to pay James Harden way too much money to not win a championship this offseason is what's going to happen. And if it's the Phoenix Suns, cool. Go ahead and put those eggs in that basket right there. And I can't wait to watch them fall on the ground and drop and yoke all over the place.
Harden back with KD.
It won't work, man. It won't work. James Harden doesn't work.
I ask if you told me that, I'd ask who's going to go, because you're not just going to bring Harden in with, obviously CP3 would be gone.
I was going to say, how much money do they free up with CP3 being gone?
But you still have to probably like 16, 17 million.
At least 16. They can stretch it to 26.
Okay. So you've got the CP3 money that can come off. DeAndre Ayton, obviously, I think would be traded. So, you could make it work. I actually think it's a pretty interesting fit because Harden has shown he can facilitate. He wouldn't have to be the shot maker. Like, all Harden would have to do is facilitate the offense and hit open shots because he's got Devin Booker and KD. Facilitate, kick it out, catch and shoot with those two guys, go to work. It wouldn't be awful. I would be concerned, though, because you got shorter flights to Vegas. And he could get to Houston pretty quickly, so I'd have some concerns there. Also, another what if I told you, Dame Dollar. Dame Dollar was on the Last Stand recently, and here's what he had to say about his future.
Everybody keeps saying Damian Lillard is going to be traded to the Knicks. Damian Lillard's going to be traded to the Heat. Damian Lillard should be traded to the Celtics. Damian Lillard's going to be traded to the Nets. If one of those trades went through out of those teams, which one would you be like, that's not too bad?
Miami, obviously. Miami is the obvious one. And Bam is my dog. Bam is my dog, for real.
Before I ask you,
I think you had the same observation I did.
His laugh is just like Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard, yes.
Holy crap. We need to work on that behind the glass. Let's work on that. Kawhi versus Dame.
You and I both. It was almost the same reaction as when the earthquake happened, where we looked at each other, we're like, huh? Whoa.
I've heard that clip 3 times, and I didn't realize it until you brought it up, and now I can't unhear
We
it.
simultaneously had the same exact observation. There's some mind meld going on there.
He laughs just like Kawhi. We'll get to that later on. But Ramie, what if I told you? What if I told you Dame laughs like Kawhi Leonard? What if I told you Dame to Miami this offseason?
Now, that's a little scary. That right, and I don't know the salary ramifications and who would have to go if they were to get a Dame, but man, that guy, because I think I've called Miami and Heat culture as they call it, a culture of psychos, just psychopaths who want nothing more in this world than to win. There's probably a few guys in the Heat organization who would sacrifice their own blood to to win a championship. Like they're that crazy. And that's why it works with Jimmy Butler where it hasn't worked in previous stops. I think Dame has that same kind of mindset, and it's been wasted in Portland for a long time. And just adding his skill and his talent to that roster, because then you're asking even less of Jimmy Butler. Jimmy was talking about the fact that, you know, this playoff Jimmy thing, he keeps on trying to tell us it's not a real thing, but he makes a good point in saying that in a perfect world, he's not a volume shooter or a volume scorer. And you bring Dame Lillard over and he doesn't have to be, which means more time and energy that he can commit to the defensive end. And in addition to what he could do on the offensive end, playing off of Dame Lillard, it's a scary thing, Dame in Miami, to me.
It's a perfect fit.
Yes.
It's a perfect fit. Perfect fit with the roster. Perfect fit with that culture. I mean, just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody in Miami is going to care if Dame decides to take 22 shots, 25 shots in a given night. It would be a perfect fit. That's what I would say.
To happen.
All right, Amil Fragoso joins us to talk Niners coming up.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Chase loves soccer.
I'm Chase Greer, and I'm 12 years old.
And his dream is to turn pro. That's why Chase and his family make sure he's always having fun and squeezing out his best with Go-Go Squeeze. Okay, buddy, let's break for a Go-Go Squeeze. Go-Go Squeeze Fruit on the Go pouches are a nutritious snack made from 100% fruit with no sugar added.
That's my boy!
Because when you nurture your kids, you squeeze out the best in them. Squeeze out the best with Go-Go Squeeze. Not a low-calorie food. Products range from 11 to 13 grams of sugar and 60 to 70 calories per serving.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
A young golf professional eager to improve his game asked Ben Hogan if he could give him any advice. Do you have any practice balls? Hogan asked. Expecting to be led to the practice tee for a lesson, the young man assured him he did indeed have practice balls. Hogan said, then use them. Since most of us don't practice enough, learning how to practice is important, even if it's just warming up the right way. I know people who warm up by picturing the course they're about to play. If the first hole is a par 5, they'll hit a driver on the driving range, followed by a fairway wood or hybrid, depending on the length of the hole, and finishing up with a wedge to the green. So their first 3 shots on the range use 3 different clubs. Not only does this make you think about your shots instead of just hitting balls, it also gets your mind more familiar with the shots you're about to hit when you step on the first tee. Ben Hogan was a pretty intense guy, and it worked for him. Rather than copy someone, take a bit from one and some from another, and find the right practice or warm-up routine that works for you. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
For a business to thrive, there needs to be a constant stream of new customers. This happens through strong lead generation. Did you know that lead generation is one of the most important tools of any marketing campaign? Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products and services to them. To get started today, contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results today.
Pain is not normal. Repeat, pain is not normal. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here with the Good Feet Store. Does this sound familiar? It's the end of the workday and the pain in your feet, knees, hips, or back is unrelenting. Good Feet understands that you've likely already tried assorted remedies and solutions with no relief. And now you're pretty much resigned to living with the pain. But do not give in to the pain. Instead, come to the Good Feet store for their end-to-end 3-step arch support system. Good Feet is the nation's largest manufacturer and retailer of personalized arch supports. With arch supports in over 300 sizes, styles, and flexibilities, and an arch support specialist in each store. Come in today for a free, no-obligation arch support fitting, then take them for a test walk around the store or around the center. Experience the comfort, balance, and support possible with the Good Feet system. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now in Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
It's Thunder Valley's $20,000 20th anniversary cash giveaway. 5 winners on Friday and Saturday nights in June. One very lucky guest wins 20 grand, guaranteed. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
The City of Sacramento offers rebates to help with your outdoor water-saving projects this season. Rebates are available for landscape conversions, smart controllers, and irrigation upgrades that improve your water efficiency. Learn more at sacwaterwise.com.
For over 20 years, the one MMA organization that has put countless legends on the map returns on Saturday, June 17th. Gold Country Casino presents King of the Cage. Don't miss high-octane cage action with the return of Eric Smith, JJ Torres, Andrew Kerfoot, Junior Janera, Angel Banuelos, Chase Miles, and much more. Tickets on sale now at goldcountrycasino.com. Doors open at 6 p.m. Fight card schedule subject to change.
Live and local in the afternoon.
They always keep you on edge.
Cattles
and Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
All right, we're joined in studio by our friend Amil Fragoso from SactownSports.com. Check out that website, by the way, people. It is fantastic content.
I hear good things.
It's free.
Totally free.
You don't have to pay some kind of monthly subscription or yearly subscription.
No paywall.
No, none of that.
Nothing like that.
Go to SactownSports.com. You get Amil, you get Frankie C. in the place to be. You get Joe Giroux with his random one-paragraph stories as he continues to work really hard.
You can listen to us
in that corner office.
Why do you got beef with Giroux? Kyle, I get, but why
he inserts himself into the conversation all the time with just ridiculous comments. Flies in.
He's part of the discussion.
What? He's probably listening right now. He'll put something in there.
He most certainly will.
He's listening
for sure.
It'll irritate me. I love Joe. Come on.
He's a good man.
I love Joe.
Joe's a good dude.
He's a good man.
Although he was quote unquote sick WrestleMania weekend and
he
couldn't really hang out with me.
He did say it's okay to put pineapple on deep dish pizza.
I'm fine with that.
Certainly not.
That's not okay.
It's not okay.
That's not
right,
okay.
Emil?
Pizza
Thank
does
you.
not belong on pineapple doesn't belong on pizza
at all.
At all.
And certainly not Chicago style.
No, that's ruining
That's
it.
sacrilege. That's sacrilege is what that is.
I love pineapple on pizza.
You're a terrible person.
Hawaiian pizza, one of my favorite pizzas in the
You're
world.
a bad person.
Yeah.
You're part of what's wrong with this world.
Probably.
Yeah.
Not because of the pineapple pizza.
No, sir,
but
because of the pineapple pizza.
It adds on to it.
That just tells me a lot about you and the person that you are.
That I'm smart.
No.
It's not what I was thinking.
That I love yummy things.
No. Pizza and pineapple separately, both delicious.
Yes.
They don't belong together.
They don't.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
Thank you, Simone.
No.
Love you now and forever.
You can't tell me I'm wrong. I'm an authority on pizza.
I think he is. I think being from Chicago gives you that
Well, you got some like pizza credential. Where's your certificate?
I'm from Chicago.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Enough said. All right, well, Emil's chilling out here in the studio. Folsom Lake Honda hotline.
He's
if
here
he
to
was
talk
on the
pizza,
phone.
right?
Yeah, I am.
Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Let's get to the Niners here, Emil. We'll save the pizza talk for later.
All right.
How has you've been there watching these guys, shirts and shorts.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy happening on the field.
No.
But how has the Sam Darnold, Trey Lance, quote unquote, competition taken shape early on?
It's been a bit 50-50, I would say. It's Sam Darnold's getting the first team reps one day, then it's Trey Lance getting the first team reps the other day. It's a lot of back and forth. They want to give equal opportunity to both guys to present an argument to say, hey, maybe if Brock Purdy's not healthy week one, you can be the starter. So they want to see and play it out the whole year. Even Brandon Allen's getting some good reps right now, not with the first team, but just still getting some reps and still getting involved there. And so they're trying to create a quarterback room, not just have it be a competition, a room of guys that want to be there for each other and want to see each other get better. And so that's kind of the philosophy they have right now.
I don't think we'll know if Sam Darnold is any better under the tutelage of Kyle Shanahan until he faces real competition. Like maybe we see something in the preseason where we go, oh, Kyle Shanahan unlocked him. But when it comes to Trey Lance, we hear, he worked with Patrick Mahomes, personal coach in the offseason, and the throwing motion is different and he looks better. Did you notice anything different about Trey Lance? Anything about him out there that's different on the practice field?
Everything is different. Everything. And I don't want to do too much hype train here, but it was apparent from day one of OTAs last month that throwing motion was different. It's more compact, more concise, much more to his level. There's no big windup that he had. He used to have a big windup that was able to hit the ball out. That's not there anymore. Now he's able to just throw it and throw it accurately. He's still learning the mechanics. He's still getting used to it because it's still a new thing. He only worked 2 weeks with Jeff Christensen, Patrick Mahomes' personal throwing coach. But it did wonders to him. It did absolute wonders to him because his base is wider too. And as you know, you need a wider base to be able to throw deeper, able to throw with your legs and not just rely on the arm. And so now that he has that, he's able to really establish and get more accuracy, which has always been the issue with him, is accuracy and consistency. So his accuracy looks better and the balls aren't wobbly anymore. They're crisp and precise.
Amil Fragoso with us here, Cattles and Ramie in studio on this Thursday, Sactown Sports. Lots of Aiyuk talk, Amil. And I do want to have this disclaimer. I feel like I have to share this disclaimer.
You should.
And Amil knows where I'm going with this. Amil went to Arizona State.
Oh.
So let's just make sure that's out there. Let's be
All
fully
right.
transparent.
Sure.
I went to Arizona State, so he has a stake in this. But there's been lots of Aiyuk talk. Reasonable, Amil.
Okay.
Reasonable expectations given the quarterback circumstances and the amount of weapons this team has.
I think the quarterback thing is less of a circumstance for the weapons because last year they proved even with playing 3-4 quarterbacks, they can still put up numbers. They can still put up options. I mean, Aiyuk had his first 1,000-yard receiving season with all the other stuff going around, Jimmy Garoppolo to Trey Lance to Brock Purdy, doesn't really matter. Brandon Aiyuk is a star. I really fully believe that. I know there's some bias, ASU and stuff, but I watched him play at Arizona State. And I could see the route running and the cutting even there. And it's only gotten better since then. And what was missing for Aiyuk, though, was the all-around offensive ability. He hated blocking. Didn't want to block, didn't want to be a team player. That's why he got benched rookie year. That's not a thing anymore. He's a full team player. He's committed. And what's changed with Aiyuk now is that he's a leader. He's out there being more vocal, being more verbal. I mean, every single player said it who talked to the podium, who's the toughest guy to recover? Diamador Lenore said Brandon Aiyuk, no question. His route running is unmatched. Deebo Samuel said, you can't cover that boy in a phone booth right now. I mean, these guys, they love this dude, and all the offseason trade speculation only made him better, it seems.
I thought it was pretty remarkable what Christian McCaffrey was able to come in mid-season and immediately do. And I thought his comment the other day was funny, where he was like, yeah, I had a different coach every year in Carolina, so I was used to picking up new playbooks and new plays. It was nothing new to me. But is it fair with a full offseason to expect even better performance than what we saw from Christian McCaffrey last year, sort of picking up Kyle Shanahan's offense on the fly and basically being the centerpiece of that offense in the second half of the year?
Yeah, he's going to be better. Absolutely. Because he was here from the start of OTAs, the start of voluntary workouts at ground zero. He wanted to relearn the playbook and relearn all this stuff. I just wrote in my draft takeaways today, the Christian McCaffrey trade was highway robbery. They robbed Carolina at gunpoint. That's how bad it was. You got him for a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth next year. That's it. Leave it to give a first for this guy who's just turned 27 years old in his prime. I mean, it's more than just his play on the field. It's how he prepares himself, how he prepares his body, his workout routine. He runs like a sprinter, like an Olympic sprinter. There was a play at practice yesterday. They're just doing 11 on 11. It's a handoff. McCaffrey got held, and the ref didn't see it. McCaffrey furiously goes over to the referee and chews him out for 20 seconds. This is practice. This is OTA.
This is a mandatory minicamp.
Trent Williams had to pull him back. This is just the way this guy is wired. It's just if you know Christian, you know he's just a different cat. He's a different animal, and that's what makes Christian so awesome. Is that he's a tone setter and a leader.
Last one for you, Amil. We're going to get you out of here because we had a lot of the pizza talk to begin this.
I enjoyed it.
I did.
I want to ask you about the offensive line.
Yeah.
Should we be concerned, worried, or just fine with the right side?
Just fine. I think McKivitz, his due justice is it's time. I think it's time to see what he's made of. I think he's been a great swing tackle for the Niners the last couple of years. And I think what his role now is going to be, just be as good as McGlinchey or better. Mike McGlinchey was good, but he also had his hit or miss moments. He had issues with pass blocking, especially. That right side was an issue. Now giving him that spot, letting him work with Burford, letting him work with Williams. Trent Williams even said it yesterday. He goes, it's about damn time, pretty much. It's due. it was due for McKivitz to get this spot. And so that's what's exciting is that the other guys, the veterans who have been there forever, they see the potential with this guy.
His name is Amil Fragoso. Again, you can check out his work at Sactownsports.com. And please do, because I hired the young man. Make me look good for my time at PD. Brought him in. So Amil can be found there at Sactownsports.com. He gives you all the information on the Niners. Also does a little bit of Raiders as well for you. Some MMA he sprinkles in. Soccer. Big soccer guy here.
Got an NBA mock draft tomorrow, too.
Quickly, Messi to MLS. What's going on?
Massive. It's going to happen. It's Romano confirmed it. That's all you got to hear is once Fabrizio Romano confirms.
That's what I said. Yep. I was like, when Fabrizio Romano confirms,
will you stop?
You know it's a done deal. It's a wrap.
No, seriously. Once he confirms it, he is the godfather of transfers.
Yeah, Fabrizio Romano is the godfather of transfers.
MLS.
Everybody knows that.
It's like when Beckham came to LA Galaxy all those years ago. It's massive.
Exactly,
massive.
Can he bend it like Beckham?
That's exactly
even better. Messi's the GOAT.
Messi can bend it better than Beckham.
He's the GOAT. The man's the GOAT.
He's good at what he does. And so is Amil Fragoso. By the way, he's on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline, kind of, sort of, because he's in studio. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Amil, man, thank you. Appreciate you stopping by. Do this again more as we move forward and closer to the season. But what we've got to do is something I've been looking forward to,
which is
coming up here. This is the time when we can all have some fun with the A's getting dragged by the Nevada legislators. We'll get to that coming up next.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Are you ready to hear this on Sactown Sports?
Handoff McCaffrey. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Or how about this?
Feels super, baby! The five-time Super Bowl champions, and they're looking for number 6.
Catch every Niners game during the 2023 season
On your home for the 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Greetings from M&S Auto on El Camino, just off the Cap City Freeway. And a big thanks to our repeat customers for letting us be your favorite car dealer. Repeat customers make us proud. M&S customers know that they're going to find the car, 4x4, or SUV they want. They'll get treated like family and save thousands. Whether you're a repeat customer or a first-time buyer, welcome. M&S Auto, the intelligent car buying experience. MSAutogroup.com.
The Gold Rush Classic, where the stars and guitars shine. The Gold Rush Classic is a celebrity pro-am golf tournament, a $1 million hole-in-one contest, a skins game, a celebrity draft party, and a concert featuring the Atlanta Rhythm Section. The Gold Rush Classic raises money for Make-A-Wish, Jordan's Guardian Angels, First Tee of Sacramento, Rancho Murrieta Youth Sports, and other worthwhile children's charities. The Gold Rush Classic takes place July 13th and 14th in Rancho Murrieta. Come join the fun, raise money for charity, and play golf with a celebrity like Barnes, Fernandez, Jackson, Lloyd, Merriweather, Ostertag, or our own Greg Vaughn. Sponsorships are available at goldrushclassic.org. The Gold Rush Classic, where the stars and guitars shine. The Gold Rush Classic is sponsored by Chase Armor at Plan Solutions and Folsom Lake Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, where a handshake still means something. The Gold Rush Classic, where the stars and guitars shine.
Hey, Scott, you look great. Yeah, I'm feeling good and have a new job. No, there's something different about the way you look. To be honest, a few months ago, I had an amazing robotic hair transplant procedure at XL Medicine. It's called the artist procedure. No way. Your hair looks completely natural, and you don't even have a scar. How did they do that? Dude, the artist system is amazing. I have this fantastic hairline, and I'm happy with my results. XL Medicine could probably help you too, buddy.
Using the ARTIST procedure, Dr. Singh and Dr. Graywall can target and harvest healthy hair follicles with micron-level accuracy from the back of your head and transplant them where you need it. The procedure is painless, and you'll be back doing your regular activities in a couple of days. Ask Dr. Singh and Dr. Graywall at XL Medicine about the ARTIS procedure. Call today, 916-932-4470. That's 932-4470 for a complimentary in-person or Zoom consultation. Or on the web at xlmedicine.com. That's EXCEL medicine.com. See what the ARTIS procedure can do for you.
These are actors and not real patients.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings prospect Sasha Vinchenkov exited Game 2 of the Greek League Finals with an apparent right knee injury. He was carried off the floor and is receiving medical care, including an MRI, to determine the severity of the injury. Cattles and Ramie will keep you posted with updates as we get them. Denver Nuggets clapped back in historic fashion last night for Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray became the first duo to post 30-point triple-doubles in the 109-94 win, dousing the Miami Heat amid the palm trees of Kaseya Center last night. Nuggets take the 2-1 series lead. Heat looking to get back in the win column when they host Game 4 of the Finals tomorrow. Back on the left coast, gotta rack up Nevada's special sessions on the A's relocation, highlight the latest alien free agency notes, and tap into some Cattles and Ramie Thursday funkiness. If you miss anything, rewatch the fun over at Sactown Sports' very own YouTube page, or download us wherever you enjoy your podcasts. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Welcome back into Cattles and Ramie.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and more.
This is Cattles and Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
Let's have some fun. Second hour of the radio show. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you on this Thursday. We appreciate you every day, but especially on this Thursday. So the Nevada State Legislature had some fun at the expense of the A's yesterday. I don't know how many people had the opportunity to see this or hear this, but boy, oh boy, did the legislature drag the Oakland A's.
This was fun.
This was
entertaining.
If you've been waiting for Dave Cavill and company to get publicly dragged and humiliated,
flogged,
this was your moment.
Verbally flogged.
This is what you've been waiting for.
Oh man, this was
Christmas morning.
Chef's kiss. Oh,
4 years of waiting to this day.
It was a really, really tough day for the A's.
Delicious.
By the way, before we get into this, John Fisher, this might not be a surprise to many of you.
Mm-hmm.
He was not there.
What?
Yeah.
Huh?
John Fisher was MIA.
That's crazy.
Was not ready to face the wrath of the
too courageous
he
to
seems
be there.
like he seems like a stand-up dude
of the Nevada State Legislature.
Show up and face the music.
Now, reportedly, Casey Pratt, who I think is at this point the third host of the morning show, he's been on an awful lot. They should just bring him into the studio. Just hang out for the next 3 weeks.
He deserves it with all the reporting he's doing. He's doing heroic.
Carmichael Dave show with Jason Ross and Casey Pratt
works out. Might shorten it. Carmichael Dave show with Ross and Pratt. You know, I was a PD at one time. So that might work. But so according to Casey Pratt, if you're wondering where John Fisher was hanging out the last day or so, apparently he was touring the old Raiders facility in Alameda.
No.
But he was not there to get dragged by the legislature, unfortunately. So let's start with
what a half-ass solution that would be.
Let's start with Senator Wynn. Now, she was speaking to Dave Cavill, and I think for all of us, this probably was the best moment. But we have plenty of moments, but this might have been the best moment yesterday.
I want to get this correct.
Oof.
You've all called us in here for a special session and are asking minimally for the state to give you all $36 million per year for the next 5 years for a taxpayer-funded stadium at the same time that the governor has vetoed funding for summer school, a bill to support children's mental health, a bill requiring paid family leave, all because the governor said we couldn't afford them. Can you explain to me why we need to provide hundreds of millions of dollars for a billionaire team to come to the Las Vegas Strip on some of the most valuable property in the world if we can't provide funding for critical resources like summer school and healthcare? And to follow up on that, I guess my specific question is, can you explain to me why this is such a good deal that we should agree that no taxes generated on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Tropicana should go to these critical state and local services for the next 30 years?
Steve Hill. We don't really have standing to talk about some of the questions that you asked that are outside
Steve Hill.
The reason that we are asking for this proposal.
He said, I don't have a good answer to that question.
I got nothing.
That's what he just said.
He should have just looked at her and said, I've got nothing.
I got nothing.
Back to you, Senator.
I knew they were in trouble when she started off with. So let me get this correct, because that's exactly how my mom would start in with me after I did something incredibly stupid.
Yeah.
Like, let me get this. Let me just get this straight. So
I want to get this correct.
he called you chubby cheek, so you decided to tackle him to the ground and pummel him. So let me get this
I want to
straight.
get this correct.
You thought it would be smart to play a pickup baseball game where you were surrounded by windows that you could possibly break. Let me get this correct, Ramie. Let me just make sure I got this right. You thought the right place to throw the fireworks you shouldn't have been lighting in the first place was that giant dumpster over there, and now it's on fire. Did I get that correct? Anytime they start in with, let me get this right or let me get this correct, you're done.
Yes.
You're done.
Yes.
You're finished. You've done
I
something.
want to get this correct.
You've done something very, very stupid.
Could have used the full name, which would have been also pretty bad. I don't know what Steve Hill's full name is, but if she dropped that one on, I mean, we'll just really boil it down to, so tell me why the Oakland A's move to Vegas is more important than healthcare and children.
Steve Hill.
That's really the question. Why are you more important than healthcare and children?
Steve Hill.
I'm Steve Hill.
Tell me why you need this money more than sick kids. Can you do that? Can you do that for me? No? That's weird.
I want to get this correct.
I mean, look, we all love baseball, but healthcare, okay? Healthcare, school system, education,
Mental health care for children.
yeah. We got some other, we got bigger fish to fry there.
Ooh.
Dave and Steve Hill. I'm Steve Hill.
Don't really.
No, I'm really.
I don't have an answer.
Steve Hill.
I'm Steve Hill.
Oh my God.
Steve Hill.
I mean, I guess I give him credit for at least like popping the mic and like walking over.
But the fear in his voice,
Oh, yeah.
like he was, like he was getting served up by his mom. You know what I mean? Like he was just.
In the Bravo cinematic universe, we would refer to this as dragging them for filth. Absolutely dragged for filth.
Steve Hill.
All right, so that was the back and forth.
Oh man.
And there wasn't much back and forth, but that was the back and forth from Senator Wynn and Steve Hill. Then we had
Steve Hill.
Then we had Senator Hansen. It was his turn.
Why are they leaving Oakland? Okay. There's been a strong relationship there for decades. Mr. Fisher has been criticized for not putting enough dollars back into the stadium or his own team. And now he's going to relocate. And basically, the commitment that they had to the community that undoubtedly at one time was strong is going away. And one of the selling points you're presenting to us today is that the Oakland A's are going to come here and be the Las Vegas A's and have a strong commitment to the community. But I have this sensation that they're abandoning a community that they undoubtedly made very similar commitments to in the past.
Oh, you don't say. You don't say. So you're telling us that this is going to be like the great panacea for Vegas. You're going to bring the A's here. You guys are going to put money into the team. The team's going to be very entertaining. It's going to be a good baseball team. People are going to be flooding to the stadium. We're going to make money off of this stuff. But yet,
I think
you abandoned Oakland.
I think I have an analogy that, Simone, tell me if I'm wrong, could also fit in the Bravo cinematic universe.
Please.
They just said, you cheated on your girlfriend with me, and now I'm supposed to trust you and think you'll be a good boyfriend to me?
Exactly.
Am I right?
It's
Simone?
beautiful.
It's fair.
Excuse
Fair.
me.
You know what I mean? Like you're a bad person is what they're saying, and you can't be trusted.
Grass is always greener.
Why would I get into a relationship with you?
Wandering eyes. Yep,
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. No.
I like the so we had so let me get this correct from Senator Wynn, and then we had Senator Hansen with the okay. Let me look at this, okay? This is what you're telling me, okay? So you're telling me all of a sudden you're going to change your ways. You
Boys, they're getting cooked.
You cheating, lying organization. All of a sudden you're going to change. Let's go to Dave Cavill because Dave had a rough time.
That didn't answer my question. So again, it's a yes or no. Will you willingly commit to pay the live entertainment tax in the near future to fix the equity issue that exists?
Like I said, we are committed to being a great community partner in Southern Nevada and investing, over $1 billion to ensure
that still does not answer the question, sir. I'm asking you directly, yes or no. Will you commit to paying the equity issue that we see existence for the live entertainment tax?
The legislation as it's currently envisioned, does not contemplate that. The project is based on, what is currently proposed.
My God.
And so we've been focusing on that as really the path forward for the team and for the community.
Thank you. I mean, I find that disingenuous. I asked you directly, you're going to be capturing this as part of your legislation, yet you can't even commit to doing it yourself.
Yeah, Dave didn't want to say no. He's like, it isn't part of the contemplating we've done about this possible plan that we've been discussing for,
that hasn't come up.
Somehow we missed it.
We haven't talked about that. That's strange.
Hey, Steve, come up here. Steve Hill.
Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Steve Hill.
Steve Hill. Come over here. You want to answer this for me?
Steve Hill.
I got nothing, Dave. Okay, great.
Steve Hill.
He did not want to answer that question.
He didn't have an answer to the question.
No, he did. It was no.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right.
He had the answer that he did not want to say and share with the rest of the audience. He wanted to not be a part of
legislation.
That. Maybe the best part of this whole thing. It's not, TCG points out the disingenuous. Yeah, disingenuous is a rough word. It wasn't the let me get this correct. It wasn't the K. It wasn't the Steve Hill. It wasn't Dave Cavill shuffling around trying to find an answer to the question because the answer that he really had, the honest answer, wasn't a good one. It was the fact that before they got ready for round 2, this was round 1. Imagine that round 1.
The legislation as it's currently envisioned, does not contemplate that.
There's not even a cut me Mick moment. You don't want to be cut. You just want to leave the ring.
They needed to be cut in that corner.
I don't even think he wanted to be cut. He's like, so before they get to round 2.
Throw in the towel. Just throw in the towel.
That's precisely what they did. Before they got to round 2, the legislature was looking for Dave Cavill and,
I feel like my remarks from the live entertainment tax were not completely there, so I want to try again. I don't know if Mr. Caval's here to answer questions or if I can direct them to you all. Is he still here? Or...
He left.
Is he still here? Or...
No, he gone.
He took enough of a beating.
He and Steve Hill shuffled out quickly. The back door. They found the exit.
Steve Hill.
Is he still here?
Steve Hill and Dave Cavill looked at each other and said, "We got to get the hell out of here. This is not going good."
Is he still here? Or...
Is he still here? Has anybody seen him? It's like, where's Waldo? Where's Cavill?
No,
anybody see him?
He's icing his bottom after that spanking he got in round 1 of that legislative session.
But you know who they did have?
Steve Hill.
Steve Hill was around.
Oh, he stuck around?
Unconfirmed.
Good for Steve Hill.
Cavill was in the men's room tucked in the fetal position.
Man, oh man. Still here? Or...
Is he still here? No.
Is he still here? Or...
Yeah, they had time.
Wow.
They had time yesterday.
They should have had an announcement throughout the legislature, like they do at the airlines when somebody's not making their flight.
Yeah,
they could call for Cavill and see if he could show up after a couple minutes.
Still here? Or...
Is he still here? Anybody got any info for me?
Is he still here? Or...
Simone asked for some of your best "let me get this correct" moments on the YouTube page.
Yeah.
There are some great answers on there. Beeman said, "So let me get this straight. You thought it would be funny to give the middle finger to the camera, my mother, after the vice principal called her to tell her I had a school suspension." Tall Chinese guy said, "Let me get this correct.
I want to get this correct.
You spent our grocery money for this week to buy a Greg Oden rookie card."
Oh.
What now?
Beeman said, so let me get this correct.
I want to get this correct.
You used my purple shampoo just because you thought it smelled good.
They got dragged yesterday. This made my heart dance watching all these clips. Loved it. Every second of it.
I want to get this
Between
correct.
this and Jay Monahan, we really are getting a heaping helping of people getting their comeuppance in the public eye. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of just hypocrites. Now, they're very wealthy, and they'll probably come out on top in the end, because that's what happens in the world. But it is fun watching them get dragged here the last couple of days, because they deserve it.
I want to get this correct.
They 100% deserve it.
It's a beautiful thing.
Oh, I love it.
An interesting name works out for the Kings, the latest in 90 seconds.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Once a week for my reward meal.
And generally, what's the end result there?
So I roll up the bag super tight and I drive home and I let the dogs out and back in. And then we all go upstairs and I take like the napkins and I make like a little napkin table on the bed.
You are a child.
And I turn on like whatever show I'm going to watch. And then when I'm done, we all take a nap.
You and the dogs.
Me and the dogs right there. We all
Are
take
they
a
just
nap.
watching you eat?
100%.
Okay.
And they're rude about it.
They're like, we had a work week.
Long work week of farting and eating.
You're the same.
That's a great point.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Hey, it's Nick Cattles from Cattles and Ramie, and I'm reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Start your grilling season right with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers from Green Acres Nursery and Supply. My Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill, it's turning me into a pro. Napoleon grills, they have features that other grills just can't match. They're built different, built better, and they're built to last. I'm telling you, I might never want to cook indoors again. Just go to Napoleon.com for your nearby Napoleon Grills dealer. Napoleon Grills, now is the best time for the best selection of grills and fine accessories.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
Live and local in the afternoon.
They always keep you on edge.
Cattles
and Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
Kings had an interesting workout recently, getting ready for the draft. We'll get to that in a couple of minutes. But the Kings news today is that Sasha Vezenkov, while he was playing for Olympiacos earlier today, went down with a knee injury. And he was carried off of the floor. He did not return to the game. He was taken to the hospital. And he is having or had an MRI. And there's now video of the injury. Mic check.
Mic check, because I was focused on what I was doing. I'm watching it right now. It doesn't look, I mean, it's not one of those like.
Did you watch the replay from underneath the basket?
I think so. Oh, okay. That, in my expert opinion.
Mic check.
That looks like a hyperextension. In my expert opinion.
Can we break the news right here?
No.
But it's his expert opinion.
I would say that his right leg twists in a very uncomfortable manner. That's what I would say. It does look like initially that it could be an ankle. It really does.
But then he grabs at the back of his knee.
And I think that's why the report, the headline was ankle. But it looks like his ankle kind of went out on him. And because of that, he did not necessarily land cleanly. He's going up for a rebound. So it's in the middle of some traffic.
By the way,
the
guy is just hanging on him. Whoever the guy is that's fighting him for the rebound, just hanging around his neck, just right on top of him.
So that's the latest on Vezenkov.
Why is basketball still happening?
But he's going up for the rebound, and as he lands, his right foot
it comes down. His left leg goes out straight,
ankle.
So all his weight is coming down on his right leg, and then he completely collapses down on that leg. And bends it down all the way underneath all his weight.
Not a great looking replay. Again, we don't know what the injury could be.
Your initial reaction during the break when you first saw it, I thought it was one of those like a Joe Theismann leg bending the wrong way type of injury.
The first time I watched it, I will say the more you watch it, the less
jarring.
Jarring is a good word. I don't want to be hyperbolic here. Less jarring. Jarring's a good word. But his leg definitely flops a little funky. So let's hope. Let's hope for the best.
Again, that's an expert medical opinion.
Yes, Ramie
flops a little funky.
Yes,
yes.
Rami watched the video. He believes
hyperextension,
knee extension, hyperextension. That's all it is.
Dr. Dick.
I have officially walked into the room along with my doctor. I don't know if I'm the registered nurse here, the RN, but I have walked in. I have weighed in with my opinion, and that is the right leg flopped a little funky. So we're not laughing at the injury before we get texts and tweets and emails. But that's
I'd be so pissed if I got like MRIs and x-rays and stuff and the doctor comes in and he turns out the lights and he puts like the images up on that light up thing and he's like, now you can see here if you look close, it flops a little funky.
I think what we have here, sir. We have the dreaded funky flop. We will treat the funky flop.
I read about this in medical journals. I feared I would one day face it.
Also, what year is it? We're putting our x-rays up in that little light box still, Ramie. Get it together.
It's funnier that way.
Get it together.
That's for comedic effect.
I appreciate it. When I was in school, I read about this in some textbooks.
I hoped I'd never have to.
What are textbooks?
I hope that I never had to ever diagnose this before.
A flop.
I'm sorry to tell you. You got a funky flop. Man, you got a funky flop. Never heard of it. There's a reason for that.
There's a reason. Very rare.
It doesn't happen.
It's very, very rare. The funky flop is something no doctor ever.
You see what happens? It's when it flops a little funky.
Really?
Yeah. And therefore, you got the funky flop. All right. This workout, Amani Bates worked out for the Kings recently. This is interesting because, coming out of high school, he was one of the top names that every draft analyst and pundit was talking about. Bates was the third-ranked recruit coming out of the 2021 high school class behind Chet Holmgren and Jaden Hardy. Bates committed to Memphis. It did not go great for Bates with the Memphis Tigers. It just wasn't a great year. So he decided to then transfer, and he ended up transferring back home to Eastern Michigan. And at Eastern Michigan, he averaged 19 points, 6 rebounds, shot 40% from the field, 33% from three. He led the team in scoring. So he's in the mix, and a lot of people believe he could be a second-round selection. The Kings have 2 second-round picks, if you were wondering. They pick at 38 and 54. So they're 28, 38, and 54. 3 picks this year. And look, to me, high ceiling second-round pick. And it's interesting that Hardy's name was brought up in the article because I thought one of the possible mistakes that you could criticize Monty for was selling that pick off last year in the second round when they had the opportunity to draft Hardy. And Hardy was pretty good in his first year, given the circumstances in Dallas. So it's interesting that Hardy was brought up. But, this guy's, again, high ceiling, pretty much like a big swing in the second round. Big fan of taking gigantic home run hacks in the second round.
But you'd probably have to take him in the first round, given where they pick in the second round, right? You could trade down and get an early second round pick by giving up your first round pick, I guess. But they're saying top 50. I think that would be just outside the range. Well, I guess right in the range of their second round pick when you do the math. If you wait till the second round, I think you're risking not getting that guy.
They draft 38th.
I thought it was.
I just said it. 38 and 54.
Oh, 30. Oh, they had 2 second. I forgot they had 2 second round picks. Sorry, I was reading something.
So 38.
Okay.
So they got, you got 2 second round picks. Take a huge swing. Why not? look, he's a long wing. He's got great length. He's an ISO scorer. He can create his own shot, pull up guy. He probably will do fine in the pick and roll. Biggest question is obviously his shooting percentages weren't great. 33% from three, 40% from the field. So it's not like he was uber efficient. And not many people believe he's going to be a defensive player.
And a bit of a project, right? Like a high ceiling project guy who you might have to.
Yeah, a bit of a swing. It's like one of those guys with the pedigrees from high school. You know what I mean? The big resume from high school.
Who was it last
People
year?
thought he could be a top 10 talent. Did not quite get there the first 2 years.
I was trying to track it down this morning, Nick, and I couldn't pin down the right Google search. Who was it coming out of the draft last year he was one of the top recruited high school players and then didn't play his freshman year? Was it Shaden Sharp didn't play his freshman year in college because of an injury or something that happened?
Yeah.
And so his stock kind of dropped.
He got to Kentucky and did nothing.
That's what it was. Yeah. And that's who I was thinking of while reading this and looking at Amani Bates' sort of path to this point of really highly touted high school player who had maybe some growing pains, some struggles coming out of high school, but just a world of talent there. The only thing I'm intrigued, the only thing that makes me a bit apprehensive is something we've talked about before. Now, if you're using a second round pick on him, and especially if you have two of them, maybe you can run that risk. But Nick, we've talked a lot about the fact that you got to get guys that can help you win basketball games and find them in unlikely places, like late first and second round picks. And he seems like a guy who you might have to work with and wait for him to get anywhere near that ceiling.
Yeah, you swing at the talent. The latest example of Stephen A. Smith being more sizzle than steak coming up.
The 49ers 2023 schedule is out and filled with big matchups.
The 49ers start the season with a Week 1 showdown in Pittsburgh.
At home in Week 5 against the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football.
And a Week 13 NFC Championship game rematch with the Eagles.
Plus, get every 49ers game this season on Sactown Sports. Visit SactownSports.com for the latest team news and a full schedule breakdown.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Dirk Verdorn in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Expect to have enough sunshine this afternoon to help warm temperatures into the lower 80s for daytime highs and a nice delta breeze picking up by later on this evening, anywhere from 15 to 20 miles per hour. Get the latest forecasts on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
A nice warm shower is not so nice if it doesn't drain like it should. Well, let's fix that right now. Get a sewer inspection, including mainline drain cabling and video analysis, just $97. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air, Bonnie.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
Bartley Kavanaugh Golf Course is Sacramento's #1 course for fun. Players love Bartley Kavanaugh's fun design and great mixture of holes. Near the banks of the Sacramento River, Bartley Kavanaugh's moderately sized greens and generous fairway landing areas make for an affordable and fun round of golf. Bartley Kavanaugh offers a great pro shop, help planning your tournament or wedding, and a relaxing outdoor veranda for a cold beverage or a tasty meal. For tee times, visit BartleyKavanaugh.com. It's Sacramento's #1 course for fun.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month. A savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-330-1991. That's 1-800-330-1991. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-330-1991. SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find: happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey guys, did you know June is Men's Health Month? Prioritize your health and address those issues you've been ignoring. Revive Men's Health Sacramento has guaranteed low T and ED solutions. Book your free exam and T-check today and save $199 and find out how you can get a free 1-month supply of custom ED medication. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit revivemenshealth.com today.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you find the right customers. Spread awareness of your product or services. We can help build trust in your brand and services with a digital marketing campaign. Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing campaigns that deliver results. Don't wait. Get started today. Contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton. See all our inventory and specials at AcuraofStockton.com.
Sactown Sports
Headlines. I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings prospect Sasha Vinchenkov exited Game 2 of the Greek League Finals with an apparent right knee injury. He was carried off the floor and is receiving medical care, including an MRI, to determine the severity of the injury. Cattles and Ramie will keep you posted with updates as we get them. Denver Nuggets clapped back in historic fashion last night for Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray became the first duo to post 30-point triple-doubles in the 109-94 win, dousing the Miami Heat amid the palm trees of Kaseya Center last night. Nuggets take the 2-1 series lead. Heat looking to get back in the win column when they host Game 4 of the Finals tomorrow. Back on the left coast, gotta rack up Nevada's special sessions on the A's relocation, highlight the latest alien free agency notes, and tap into some Cattles and Ramie Thursday funkiness. If you miss anything, rewatch the fun over at Sactown Sports' very own YouTube page, or download us wherever you enjoy your podcasts. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Welcome back into Cattles and Ramie.
With you 1 mile at a time during the afternoon drive. Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Some updates here before we get to Stephen A. Smith. Once again, much more sizzle than steak. Text line. I think this was in reaction to our Oakland A's segment with the Nevada State Legislature dragging Dave Cavell and company.
Oh, man.
Segment's hilarious.
Steve Hill.
Jim and Sack.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
Appreciate you, bud.
Alex Levko. I believe this had to do with our funky flop portion of the segment that we just had. It's like listening to Jerry Seinfeld. Take that as a compliment.
Thank you.
You know, one time I wrote a screenplay. I was about 19, 20. And
Really?
I gave it to a local production company. And she said to me, the person who ran this production company said to me that it wouldn't make for a great movie because the storyline wasn't, it wasn't a good enough story to carry through 2 hours or whatever. But she said that it read like an episode of Seinfeld. I said, well, thank you.
Appreciate it.
You might, it might not be good enough to be a movie, but it was funny enough for you to reference Seinfeld, so I'll take it.
Why didn't she do something with it?
And I was like 20. It was local,
They didn't know what they had.
Probably laziness.
Good job.
They didn't know what they had.
Probably.
They missed the boat.
Yeah, right?
Right?
I could have been a star.
You should have been a star.
Imagine that. Hollywood writer. I almost wrote for the WWE. That would have been
You told me
too.
that.
That would have been a trip. That would have been a trip.
That doesn't seem like stable work, though. I feel like you could be in and out real quick.
You know, hindsight, you look back at it, probably the right thing that I did not work there because they travel a lot. They work like nonstop.
Vince McMahon is your boss.
Yeah.
That's
so. Close might be a little bit of a reach. I mean, I was talking to HR and all that good stuff.
Oh, that's pretty close.
About maybe joining the company. But I digress. So thank you, Alex. Like listening to Jerry Seinfeld. And Joe Giroux weighs in. And he asks, Ramie, isn't the funky flop one of Nick's dance moves that he will not show us?
Only Nick can answer that. I don't know. I've never seen any of these supposed moves that Nick has.
It might be, Joe. It just might be. One day I will
mean, you
reveal...
can call it anything you want because we'll never see it. You could make up any dance name.
Can you do the worm?
I've never tried.
Oh,
with your back, I don't think.
Yeah,
you
I
can
think
do
like
the
with
worm.
my back, that would
the
be
worm is a bad idea.
a big
If any dance move is a bad idea, and they probably all are, but if any one is a bad idea, it's the worm.
Okay, fair.
Keep doubting me. I'll reveal it one day.
I will.
You'll see it.
I will keep doubting.
I want to get this correct.
A couple of other updates.
You're saying
here.
you can dance.
Yes.
Okay.
Tyler Hero ruled out for Game 4 of the NBA Finals, so he will not be playing tomorrow night. John Ralston on Twitter tweeted out, more than 3 hours after time was set for the state Senate to take up the A's bill again, in no session. What does that mean? Pretty simple. They don't have the votes. At least not yet.
Beautiful.
And Christos Harpidis on Twitter.
Perfect.
Tweeted out. And I don't know if this is an official report because I don't know. But Christos Harpidis tweeted at James Ham saying that reacting to the video of Vezenkov we were talking about last segment.
Yes.
Tweeted bone bruise on the back surface of the medial tibial condyle of the right knee.
Exactly what I thought.
I.e. funky flop. He is questionable for Sunday's game, difficult to play. Now, again, I don't know if that's like an official report. I will tell you, if you're wondering who Christos Harpidis is, he is a sports journalist at City Unity.
I mean, I knew that, but good you told the people.
And, I mean, he does have over 12,000 followers, if that means anything anymore, in 2023. So we'll see. But if that's it, if that's the injury, then that's obviously really good news. And that's why we didn't tell you or speculate that this was a situation where, this, I did tweet, because I saw the knee injury and carried off the floor. I did tweet,
You literally said,
Yeah, I trolled, but I didn't say it on the show, so it doesn't count.
You guys were journalistically responsible.
Thank you. Anyway, let's get to Stephen A. Smith talking about journalistic responsibility and having credible information.
Is he still here?
First Take is mostly comedy at this point. I think all of us can agree.
Yes.
And there was Stephen A., Jay Williams, and J.J. Redick on the show today, along with Molly Karam. And, Stephen A., take it away.
Jokic isn't known for having some kind of dominant post game now. That's not his game.
Hold on a second.
It's not his game. He's not a dominant. Is he a dominant post player?
No. Stephen A., we've got 10 years of tracking data. You know what the number one most efficient half-court play is in 10 years across the NBA?
What?
A Nikola Jokic post.
What is it?
There you go.
Whoa.
Boom.
Boom. Wait. Talk.
JJ.
I'm done. Can I respond?
Do you need to?
I got it.
Do you need to respond? That's when you just take the L.
That's a 10-7 round right
Whoopsie.
there. That's 10-7.
Yes, if not a TKO. I get what Stephen A. was saying, and as he tried to clarify, his explanation was exactly what I thought it was, which is not the dominant physical post game like a Shaquille O'Neal, more of the Kevin McHale, or as he called him, McHale, around the hoop sort of finger roll and layup game.
Kevin McHale, who only is known to have pretty much the best footwork of any big man aside from Hakeem Olajuwon in the game's history. Joel Embiid can also be mentioned with great footwork, by the way, when he's not flopping around on the floor like a fish. But, that That was a tremendous haymaker from JJ.
Yes.
We have data in over a 10-year sample size, Stephen A.
10 years of data we
the
have.
most efficient play in the NBA is a post-up by Nikola Jokic.
JJ Redick is winning my heart over little by little.
And can I just say this?
He is all of us sitting across from all these old men.
If you have the
saying
chance,
what we're all thinking.
If you have the chance to watch this video, do it immediately. And I don't want you to pay any attention to Stephen A. Smith. Just keep your eyes focused on Jay Williams, JJ Redick, and Molly Karam's facial expressions.
Because they took a lot of pleasure in it too. A lot of satisfaction there.
Like JJ Redick and Jay Williams have a great reaction. But I think Molly Karam's is the best. Because at a certain point when this starts to, JJ Redick starts to talk at the beginning, Molly Karam literally just closes her eyes as if she's trying to just shut out the noise. It is something that I've seen Kelly do to me multiple times in our relationship. Just closes the eyes like, if I close my eyes, maybe my husband will just walk the hell away for 5 minutes because he's going to say something stupid. He's going to say something that frustrates me. I'm ready for it. I'm not going to yell at him. I'm just going to close my eyes and hope for him to just go away. Not forever, just for a few minutes.
Magically disappear.
Yeah, just for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm sure some listeners have done that about me too. They might be doing it right now.
Molly.
I've done it.
I think I saw you have. It's okay. I've done it towards you too. I think I've seen Simone do it a lot to both.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. No doubt.
A lot. By the way, all guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey.
The alien talk will not stop this week. Can't stop, won't stop. It's getting crazier. We'll talk about it next.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Wells Fargo gives you access to direct deposit funds up to 2 days early.
Plus, if you look at the X and Y axes,
What if everything came 2 days early? Like the weekend.
That was a pleasant surprise.
You can't get everything early, but when it comes to direct deposits, you can with Wells Fargo.
Visit wellsfargo.com/getearly to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Not all direct deposits are eligible. Early availability is not guaranteed and may vary between deposits from the same payer. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
When the world's best players get fitted for new golf clubs, they want to see their ball flight outdoors. Why should you settle for any less? The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is the area's unquestioned leader in delivering a new age of golf club fitting to Northern California. With 14 trained, skilled professionals to show you how to hit the ball farther and straighter, satisfied customers have increased their yardage, improved their games, and gained confidence. Call 916-808-2531 to get started. That's 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
Pro Paint Days are here at Lowe's. Now through June 16th, Lowe's MVPs members can start earning 20% back in paint rewards via Lowe's e-gift card when you spend $100 or more on qualifying paint purchases. Stock up on top paint brands like our new and exclusive HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Spec-Rite Pro Interior Paint. Lowe's knows pros. Exclusions, restrictions, and more terms apply. See Lowe's.com/L/pro loyalty terms. Subject to change.
Hey, Scott, you look great.
Yeah, I'm feeling good and have a new job.
No, there's something different about the way you look.
To be honest, a few months ago, I had an amazing robotic hair transplant procedure at XL Medicine. It's called the artist procedure.
No way. Your hair looks completely natural, and you don't even have a scar. How did they do that?
Dude, the artist system is amazing. I have this fantastic hairline, and I'm happy with my results. XL Medicine could probably help you too, buddy.
Using the artist procedure, Dr. Singh and Dr. Graywall can target and harvest healthy hair follicles with micron-level accuracy from the back of your head and transplant them where you need it. The procedure is painless, and you'll be back doing your regular activities in a couple of days. Ask Dr. Singh and Dr. Graywall at XL Medicine about the artist procedure. Call today, 916-932-4470. That's 932-4470 for a complimentary in-person or Zoom consultation, or on the web at xlmedicine.com. That's EXCEL medicine.com. See what the artist procedure can do for you.
These are actors and not real patients.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with 0 down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at folsomlakeford.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
0 down with approved credit.
With you 1 mile at a time during the afternoon drive. Cattles and Rock.
Sactown Sports.
Guys dressed in black, remember that, just in case we have a face-to-face and make contact. The title held by me, MIB.
I'll never look at Will Smith the same.
I was just going to ask, where are you at with Will Smith?
You know.
I'm good. I've forgiven and moved on. I like Will.
I've forgiven, but you don't forget.
Good dude, bad moment.
Every time you see him in the back of your head, he's going to be slapping Chris Rock.
No, I've already dropped. I've let it go. He owned it. He admitted it wasn't cool. Extended olive branches. I understand Chris not accepting said olive branches, but what's a man to do? Good dude, bad moment. Let's move on.
I thought it was a conspiracy theory the whole time.
What do you mean?
Like when it first happened, like I was like, there's no way that really happened.
Oh, you thought it was
a stunt or something. Yeah, but it's crazy.
That's a little too much Will Smith talk for me.
You asked.
I know. And I should learn my lesson with you and Simone. But I never do. All right. Man, this has been fantastic the last 3 days. Every day we've had an alien update. And I think these are significant updates. We're not reaching for the news. This stuff is just happening.
Real. Yeah.
And it's our job, frankly, to give you the latest on this.
Yes. It's our duty. As I've said, the media has failed you in large part because this should be the story.
We need to inform you
on every show,
part of the
everywhere.
All right. So this is fantastic. So this is in Vegas. Okay. And I'll start off with, there is a cop cam. There's a video that exists where this cop is, having a conversation with somebody, and they're doing their job. And in the background, you can see this light, this flashlight, whatever the hell you would call it. I guess you'd say like a shooting star or something,
a flashing light in the sky,
a meteor, something like it's started to, cascade towards the ground. And the cop says something and it's like, whoa, you see that? Now, you have that video.
Uh-huh.
Meanwhile, there is a family that ends up moments after this thing seemingly fell from the sky. Moments later, 911 receives a call from an alleged eyewitness. Here is that 911 call.
There's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us, and it's still there.
Okay, where is this on your property?
In my backyard. I swear to God, this is not a joke. This is actually, we're terrified of it.
So there's 2 people or 2 subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes, like I can't explain it. And big mouth. They're shiny eyes, and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
100%
not human.
100%.
Hate to hear it.
They're not human. 8 feet, 9 feet,
10
foot drop.
Yesterday we talked about they were maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet. This is a complete opposite.
Not these.
We're talking 8, 9, 10
not
feet.
Chill.
Not these beings.
No.
It's like a abominable snowman, but an alien.
Yeah.
Big eyes, big mouth.
The aliens that are out of signs, the scary ones. Oh my God.
Big shiny eyes, big mouth, 8 feet, 9 feet, 10 foot.
Punch.
Now, the cops obviously get called because it's a 911 call. And there's video of one of the cops that's driving to the scene. And he's talking about how, like, he's nervous. He's, like, freaked out. He's like, I saw something. Saw something fall from the sky. And he's all kind of like, he's a little bit rattled. He doesn't know what he's gonna walk into. So here is, I don't know if it's the same cop or another cop, but here is a cop that shows up at the scene and has a discussion with the family, the eyewitness.
What'd you see?
It was like a big creature.
A big creature?
Yeah, like around 10 feet tall.
I'm not going to BS you guys. One of my partners said they saw something fall out of the sky too, so that's why I'm kind of curious. Did you see anything land in your backyard? Or
they see like a big? That's what they say. They see like a big something with light.
So it's obviously the partner. So the second voice you heard from the eyewitness, that's the father. He's not really helping out.
He's the one who made it sounded like the same voice that made the 911 call. Am I mistaken? No,
no. The first person was the one that made the 911 call.
Right.
Yes.
The second person is the father of the person who called in. They're two younger men. I don't know, like they look like they're 18, 19. So two younger men. And so then they asked the father. The cop asked the father, "Did you see anything?" And he's pretty much like, "No." You know, they say they saw something. They're saying that. So this is from 8 News Now in Vegas, which, by the way, if you see this video, pay attention to the male anchor because he is like just so stiff and like uncomfortable. He looks like a guy who's trying to be a TV anchor on TV. Like he's like an actor. He's like straight up and he's like kind of like uncomfortably like spinning towards. So this is 8 News Now investigative reporter David Charnes.
So yeah, this is quite weird, Brian was saying as we're watching this story. Now, we've been in contact with the family in that video, and as you heard in that 911 call, they seem very reasonable and honestly quite scared as you heard them in the call. No, they don't seem impaired in any way. And whatever crashed by the time the police got there was gone, but sources say that there's really no dispute. Something was in their yard. Exactly what? We do not know.
What do you mean there's no dispute? They're the only ones who saw it. There's dispute.
No, the police officer said his buddy saw something fall out of the sky.
He saw something. He saw flashing lights in the sky.
Not a 9-foot alien.
Not a 9.
With
they
big
didn't see
shiny
it.
eyes and a big mouth.
And they said there was no evidence of whatever crashed in their backyard left behind. So there is dispute.
But he said they were able to confirm something was in the yard at one point.
I mean, something has been in every yard at one point.
Not if it's a brand new yard.
Yeah.
Like if it's a brand new yard, maybe not.
Like for all we know, there's a tool shed back there that was recently removed and it left a print on the grass. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. And even the video, Nick, this goes back to what we were talking about the other day.
Before we get to videos and stuff like that, I know you're going to get on a heater, but first you were talking about possible explanation.
Yeah.
Well, here again is investigative reporter of 8 News Now.
Well, we know that there are obviously a lot of military bases around this area. George Knapp covers a lot of that stuff for us on the 80s Now Investigators. We're showing you drone video from above that area. And we know, of course, Creech not far away, Nellis Air Force Base not far. I checked in with them. They say they are not involved at all, and we are waiting to hear from the Pentagon as well.
I got a couple questions before you go off.
All right.
I think it's fair to bring back the conversation we had the other day, like you were just about to mention, about the video and the pictures.
Yes.
If you have time to call 911 to discuss seeing 8-foot, 9-foot, 10-foot drop aliens with big eyes, shiny eyes, and a big mouth, why doesn't your brother or somebody else in the home take a picture of it with your phone?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now that is legitimate.
Thank you.
Also, the parents don't really help the possibility here
I don't know.
This being actual.
They saw something. By the way, this is Vegas. We don't know what these dudes got their hands on.
Hold
you know
on.
what I mean?
Hey. According to
Just
8
saying.
News Now investigative reporter
Not
David
impaired.
Charnes, no alcohol, no drugs involved.
Impaired.
And the video that we saw from the cop car, it's a light in the sky. There are lights in the sky, man.
It's more than a light in the
This
sky.
one fell out of the sky.
Yeah, that's what. Have you ever seen a shooting star or an asteroid?
Yeah,
that's what it looks like.
That's what that's precisely what I compared it to earlier.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
That's what they look like. There's stuff flying in the sky, folks. Not all of it is aliens.
Yeah, a shooting star, something like that. And, maybe what I would like to know, did these kids, did this family have like a scanner or something? Or did they see something falling from the sky? They saw the shooting star, so they said, let's have some fun, and we'll say that we saw some aliens in our backyard.
That's quite likely what it could have been.
Like a prank. Like,
Again,
see that? Let's call it.
I'm not a non-believer, but I am going to ask questions when these stories come up.
You just don't believe that they've come to Earth.
I find it highly doubtful that they visited on any regular basis, and we haven't seen not one clear photo or video of an alien or alien spacecraft. They're all fuzzy, or lights falling from the sky, or all this other stuff. I don't know. Now the whistleblower makes me think maybe, and maybe there is some Men in Black stuff going on where they show up, they clean up the scene, they scrub everybody's phones, somehow scrub everybody's memories, or just make them look non-credible and unbelievable, whatever story that they're telling. I mean, the government is really powerful and is doing all kinds of stuff that we have no idea about. So it's possible. I'm not saying it's not possible. I just find it hard to believe we're all walking around with HD cameras catching everything we see and do, and not one person has caught an alien if they've been here on any sort of regular basis.
All right, coming up.
I'm not crazy.
Coming up is Brandon Aiyuk about to blow up.
The Kings season might be over, but Sactown Sports coverage never stops.
Expectations coming into the season and how we performed. I mean, it's one of the more special seasons that I've had in my 11 years.
Stay tuned all off season to Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Hey, it's Nick Cattles from Cattles and Ramie, and I'm reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Start your grilling season right with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers from Green Acres Nursery and Supply. My Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill, it's turning me into a pro. Napoleon grills, they have features that other grills just can't match. They're built different, built better, and they're built to last. I'm telling you, I might never want to cook indoors again. Just go to Napoleon.com for your nearby Napoleon Grills dealer. Napoleon Grills, now is the best time for the best selection of grills and fine accessories.
You've heard all of his greatest hits. And now's your chance to see Grammy-nominated multi-platinum singer-songwriter Gavin DeGraw live at Gold Country Casino Resort in Oroville. Get your tickets now to see Gavin DeGraw Friday, June 23rd at 8 p.m. Only at Gold Country Casino Resort. Must be 21 or older.
Imagine it's the last ride, but your symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, are taking you for a ride. What should you do? Keep managing your constipation with belly pain the same old way? Or try getting ahead of your symptoms by talking to your doctor about treating it with Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
If you want to hit the golf ball farther and straighter, the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio offers you the opportunity to experience the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA Tour professionals. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is an indoor facility that opens onto the driving range so you can see your all-important ball flight. With the advantages of cutting-edge technology and analyzing your ball flight, the Hagen Oaks professional staff will make you a better player. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway, or call 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines. I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings prospect Sasha Vinchenkov exited Game 2 of the Greek League Finals with an apparent right knee injury. He was carried off the floor and is receiving medical care, including an MRI, to determine the severity of the injury. Cattles and Ramie will keep you posted with updates as we get them. Denver Nuggets clapped back in historic fashion last night for Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray became the first duo to post 30-point triple-doubles in the 109-94 win, dousing the Miami Heat amid the palm trees of Kaseya Center last night. Nuggets take the 2-1 series lead. Heat looking to get back in the win column when they host Game 4 of the Finals tomorrow. Back on the left coast, gotta rack up Nevada's special sessions on the A's relocation, highlight the latest alien free agency notes, and tap into some Cattles and Ramie Thursday funkiness. If you miss anything, rewatch the fun over at Sactown Sports' very own YouTube page, or download us wherever you enjoy your podcasts. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Welcome back into Cattles and Ramie.
Live and local in the afternoon.
They always keep you on edge.
Cattles
and Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
Hour number 3. He's Ramie. I'm Cattles on this Thursday. We appreciate you. Let's get into some Niners talk, Ramie.
All right.
Lots of Brandon Aiyuk conversation happening around the Bay Area. A lot of people feeling good about Brandon Aiyuk. We had Amil Fragoso in studio at the end of the 2 o'clock hour, and Amil talked about Aiyuk, and sounded like he was very high on Aiyuk and thinks he could be a stud. So we have a lot of conversation about Aiyuk. And last year he had 78 catches, 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns. And given the quarterback situation where you had not one, not two, but 3 quarterbacks during the season, not too shabby to finish with 78, 1,100, and 8. Not
take that.
Too shabby. Yeah, absolutely.
Take that. Yeah.
And this week, his teammate, Diamador Lenore, one of my favorite names in all of sports.
It's fun to say.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Diamador Lenore.
You feel fancy.
Met with the media, and here was his take on his teammate, Brandon Aiyuk.
The toughest receiver, Brandon Aiyuk, we've been having our battle since college. He's going to be a top 5 receiver in this league this year. He's going to put everybody on notice. I feel like he's been so underrated. He really don't get the credit that he deserves.
He is going to be a top 5 receiver, says Lenore.
In the whole league?
Yes. Aiyuk is going to be a top 5 guy, which begs the obligatory question to you, Ramie.
Yes.
Do you believe Brandon Aiyuk will be a top 5 receiver in 2023?
I can't see that happening. And that's no knock on Brandon Aiyuk. That there's a couple things.
Hater.
There's a couple things at play.
Hater.
I love Brandon Ayuk.
Can't stand Aiyuk.
There's a couple things at play. First,
Ramie dumping on the poor
first,
guy.
a mean one.
Yeah.
Hey, that's for Nick. Yeah. All right. I need JJ back.
Captain Pessimist here.
He knows where the drops belong. But I'm just looking at it. I'm looking at two different things, Nick. One, this doesn't exist in a vacuum when you talk about Brandon Aiyuk and how good he can be. And I just pulled up a list while you were so masterfully setting up the topic of the top receivers in the National Football. And I just have a list of 10 here.
Thank you, by the way. That was kind.
No problem. Just a list of 10 here. And you tell me, let's just say Brandon Aiyuk is 11th. Okay, let's just say he's 11th right now. You're really telling me you can see him passing up 5 of these guys between Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, A.J. Brown, and this is just from NFL.com, Stephon Diggs, Jalen Waddle, Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown, C.D. Lamb, and Cooper Kupp. I don't even know if I agree with that list. And I wouldn't even put Brandon Aiyuk at 11th. But let's just say, hypothetically, he's 11th. He's going to pass 6 of those guys and be a top 5 wide receiver. I can't see that happening, man.
He was 22nd in receptions last year. 22nd. Again, we gave you the context. We understand the quarterback situation,
and that's the second part of it, Nick, is the quarterback situation.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you could walk into this year and be confident. And look, Lenore is obviously his teammate. And
did he also go to ASU? You pointed out earlier that there was, because he said he's been battling with them since college. So I got to assume he also went to ASU.
I will look that up.
And you pointed out the lack of objectivity from Amil earlier.
No, he went to Oregon.
Okay.
So when you look at what Lenore said, obviously we all understand he's his teammate. And he's going to really pump the tires because that's what teammates should do. I mean, you're in the business of pumping your teammates' tires, make them feel good, make them feel confident, believe in him. There's no doubt in my mind that Lenore believes that Aiyuk has top 5 receiver talent. But yeah, I mean, there are extenuating circumstances that affect and impact any receiver, any tight end, any running back, any quarterback. There's always those extenuating circumstances. You're not going to be as good of a quarterback if your offensive line sucks. You're not going to be as good of a running back if your O-line sucks. You're not going to be a top 5 receiver, most likely not going to be a top 5 receiver, because I can't rule it all out. And I guess there's a slight chance, whether you say 2%, 5%, there's a slight chance. It's always possible.
Mm-hmm.
But, the chance of you being a top 5 guy in the league at that position with the unknowns at quarterback, I mean, that is very, very difficult to envision.
Also, Nick, we talked yesterday about the fact that, or we were talking about Deebo Samuel and his harsh critique of himself, saying he was awful last year and he was looking at the tape and he was embarrassed and it was sluggish and he'll never play like that on tape again. And I said he was maybe a little too hard on himself. And part of the reason I said he was too hard on himself, some of it was, yes, the quarterback situation, also the injuries that he suffered last year, but the fact that there was less asked of him, and there were a lot of guys, very, very skilled, talented guys on the offensive side of the ball for whoever was the quarterback to spread it around to. I don't know if there's enough football to go to Brandon Aiyuk, even if he's a top 5 talent in this league. Nick.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's enough football to get to Brandon Aiyuk in terms of the targets and the receptions and everything else. When you got Christian McCaffrey coming out of the backfield and catching a bunch of passes, you got George Kittle, you got Deebo Samuel. You
got weapon depth.
There's a lot of guys there that require a lot of attention and require a lot of targets.
It's like when you have 3 or 4 basketball players who are high usage guys, there's only one basketball. There's only so much opportunity on a football team. And when you go through the list that Ramie just provided you, and we all know kind of like the back of our hands at this point, those weapons that the Niners have, is very difficult to envision Brandon Aiyuk catching 115, 120 footballs because you're battling all of those guys.
They need Justin Jefferson to be that good. You know what I mean?
Right.
They need Stephon Diggs to be that good in Buffalo. These top 5, top 10 guys that we're talking about, in a lot of cases, they're by far and away the number 1 target in an offense. You can't say that about Brandon Aiyuk. We don't even know if he's the number 1 targeted guy in this offense this year, much less the number 1 wide receiver or a top 5 wide receiver in this league.
And let's even say he is, okay? Let's just build off of that premise. Let's say that he was the guy. He was the guy, no doubt, surefire, number 1 coming into this season, because he might be. Let's say he is. Well, let's not forget about Kyle Shanahan's system, right? Like, we also have to think about the system, the scheme. what does this offense do? This offense runs the football. This offense, the Shanahan offense, has always been defined, even with John Elway, it's been defined as a run the football offense. So, when you look at the opportunity, I do not foresee many games when you have a quarterback dropping back, throwing the football 45 times in this offense. They're going to run the ball. They're going to be efficient. They're going to throw a lot of short passes and have yak and, the occasional throw down the field. That's kind of what they do. They'll hit Kittle down the seam in the middle of the field. They'll hit Debo, on a slant, and Debo will take it to the house from 60 yards out. They'll throw a couple of shots downfield to Aiyuk. Like, that's what they do. But they're going to define themselves with the run game. That's always been the case. And I don't think Kyle Shanahan is all of a sudden going to walk into the season and say, whether it's Trey Lance, Sam Darnold, or Brock Purdy, we're going to throw the ball 50 times a game.
I think Brandon Aiyuk is an absolute stud. And in the right offense, in the right situation where he's, like I said, by far and away the number one guy that a quarterback in an offense would target and gear their offense towards, maybe top 10, maybe. I don't see top 5, and I honestly don't even see top 10 with the way that things are laid out with the 49ers and his role within that.
And, the point that you brought up too, man, like, look, he made a big step last year. And again, given the circumstances that he's dealing with on this team with this specific roster and this specific scheme and coaching staff, having 78 catches for 1,100 yards is a really, really, really good season. He was still 22nd in the league in receptions. There are a lot of guys he's going to have to leapfrog to be a top 5 guy. And the guys that you named earlier in this segment, with all due respect to Brandon, I don't think he's there. And I don't think he's going to be Justin Jefferson. I don't think he's going to be Jamar Chase. I don't think he's going to be A.J. Brown.
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, he can be very good. He could end up being top 10, like you said, Ramie. The top 5, again, this is the conversation, and I had this argument for years. Everybody started to get lazy with the word elite. Joe Flacco, Eli Manning, we're just going to get lazy with it. Everybody for like a 3 or 4 year window, everybody was elite. Yeah, oh, is he elite? Is he elite? I think he's elite. Maybe he's elite. I heard elite a billion times.
Remember is Joe Flacco an elite quarterback discussion?
Yeah, just mentioned it. Flacco and Eli. Like that was the two guys that to me
are
at the tip of that spear. And it's like, look, there's a reason why we call certain athletes elite. You can't all be elite. There are not 9, 10, 15 guys that are elite in the league. Now, it changes by position, but there's just, there might be 2, 3, or 4 elite tight ends, for example. So let's not get lazy with the word. If you say that Aiyuk is a top 5 receiver in the NFL, you are saying he's an elite receiver. I think there are other guys who are better than him.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that he's bad. He's a stud, like you said. He's really good. And maybe, just maybe, if he was on a team with more opportunity in kind of different circumstances and a Patrick Mahomes at quarterback,
sure,
then we'd be talking, about him legitimately being a top 5 guy. But off of, seeing all these other guys who are as talented as Aiyuk and have better circumstances that give them more opportunity, I can't put him in the top 5.
No, top 5, I don't think is realistic. Top 10, maybe, and I even think that's a reach given the circumstances. Not because he's not that good, but given the circumstances.
All right, 916-339-1140 is the text line. 1-800-920-1140 is the phone number. You can also check us out on YouTube, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. When you swing by YouTube, make sure you give us that like. I mean, we're covering a lot. We're doing some NBA with the Kings and some other NBA topics. We're breaking news here on the show about Sasha Vezenkov. We had some fun at the A's expense, getting dragged at the Nevada State Legislature, which, by the way, an update from Evan Drellick. They adjourned in Carson City until Monday morning, so nothing happening.
That's a shame.
They're going to do a third day?
Which, again, means the A's, as of right now, they ain't got the votes.
Oh, man.
So we do a lot here.
That's too bad.
We talked about aliens. I mean, we cover a lot.
We really do.
Give us that thumbs up. Speaking of covering a lot in covering baseball, Keith Law will join us to discuss the Giants and more in 90 seconds.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Carmichael Dave here. Spring here. Long, cold, rainy winter behind us. And I know you're counting the days until summer, but don't wait until it's hot to make sure your air conditioning is working efficiently and safely. Get ahead of the problem with a $49 AC tune-up from my friends at American Energy Heat and Air. Nothing worse than having your AC go out when it's hot outside. Get a tune-up today to make sure you and your family are comfortable and cool in your home for the hot summer months that are right around the corner. Give them a call at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Or schedule your appointment online like I did last year around this time at AmericanEnergyAir.com. Don't wait till that AC goes out. Call my friends today, 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Cattles and Ramie.
Cattles and Ramie. Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
All right, let's get to the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. And joining us right now is Keith Law, senior writer, MLB, for The Athletic. Keith, thanks for joining us here. We've got Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports on this Thursday. We appreciate your time. We got to start off with the obvious. Your thoughts on the messy situation between the A's, Oakland, and Vegas?
It's not entirely my beat, so I can't say I know a ton of the details here. I will say I've been on record for 25 years now saying that all the economic research shows that paying taxpayer money to build sports stadia for privately owned sports teams is a terrible, terrible idea for the economy. And it certainly seems like people in Vegas are catching on to that. There's at least a lot of political opposition. There's a lot of taxpayer opposition there. I'll believe the A's are moving to Vegas when I actually see them take the field in a new stadium there.
And part of the whole thing, and seemingly one of John Fisher's negotiating tactics, is to put a terrible product on the field so people don't support it, and he can justify moving the A's. Can you put into some perspective just how bad that product on the field has been this year?
I haven't watched a ton of major league games. My beat is primarily prospects.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty bad, though. They're certainly on a historic pace. We'll see if that actually holds up. Most teams that have been on a pace like that end up just sort of lucking into a slightly better record than that. But I wouldn't be surprised if we got to the end of July and we were talking, how bad is this A's team historically? Do they have a chance to challenge maybe the all-time loss record?
Keith Law is with us here on Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports. Keith, the Giants, a game above 500. They're 5.5 games back in the West, 1 game back in the wild card. And, at least some of this, or a lot of this, has to do with some of that young talent. Just your assessment of some of that development from the Giants that have put them in this spot.
Well, we haven't seen a lot of from products of the farm system yet. I think most of their better prospects are still farm. We haven't seen Kyle Harrison. We haven't seen Luis Matos, who's kind of the big breakout prospect, one of the big breakout prospects in all of minor league baseball this year. He's in AAA. I expect we'll see him at some point this season. It does look like Marco Luciano is healthy and is going to be able to help the major league club maybe by the very end of this year. Most of what they've gotten from the terms of, I'd say, surprise production this year has been guys like Tyro Estrada, Wade, producing well above what they've done previously in their careers. And I do think that comes back a lot to the work that Gabe Kapler and the major league staff are doing there, where they have shown over the course of 3 years now that they can get a lot more out of players like that, even if it's just making modest adjustments to guys' swings or working with them a little bit to improve their approach. guys, hitters especially, do get better when they play for Kapler and his coaching staff.
Yeah, I've heard and read a lot about Matos, their top prospect. Can you give me a comp, somebody at the major league level right now who you think he compares to?
I don't really do player comps. I've always kind of felt like they're potentially a little bit misleading. I just like to evaluate players kind of on their own merits. What has really stood out from him this year more than anything else, though, is just how much better his approach at the plate has been. I saw him last year. I saw him in the fall league, and I just went back to make sure I'm quoting myself. I said he looked like a shell of his old self, which is a weird thing to say about a 20-year-old, but something wasn't right. I don't know if he was still dealing with the quad injury or what. He did not look like the same guy. He's always put the ball in play a ton, but he's making much better decisions at the plate. He can really play center field. Now that the quad injury is healed, he can really run. There's a lot of positives here. There's a lot of really good things to say about him. And I think Giants fans should be very excited now that it looks like he's back on track. And again, I think he's going to help the club at some point this year. Whether they need him or not is a separate story, but he'll be ready to help.
Keith Law from The Athletic is with us here. He's on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Keith, of course, one of the bigger storylines in the last week or so is Elly De La Cruz getting the call-up. He had a bomb yesterday. Just your thoughts on his ceiling, your evaluation of that player, and how good can this guy be?
So I had him. He was the best prospect in baseball at the time of his call-up. A couple guys that graduated, Corbin Carroll, Gunnar Henderson, were ahead of him coming into the year. And I would say based on what they were doing in the minors, he'd really passed. He had passed Jackson Churio of the Brewers, who was the one other guy ahead of him. Elly it's all superlatives, right? It's off the charts power. It is incredible running speed. He's got great bat speed. He's got one of the best throwing arms anywhere in professional baseball, maybe second or third strongest throwing arm that anybody's got. And what he really showed this year in the minors was he could get more selective at the plate. The big issue he had, I saw him in A-ball, I guess this is 2+ years ago, and I said, hey, this is great. We've seen a lot of guys like this who are super tooled out. They have power, they can run, maybe they can throw, but they swing at everything. And Elly has gotten better in that regard in each of the last couple of seasons. And that's why I think he's able to, why he earned that call up and why I think he'll actually help that Reds club the rest of the year. Might be inconsistent, but there's going to be a lot of highlights.
We're seeing a few rules changes at the major league level this year. And I'm a fan of most of them, if not all of them at this point, Keith, but they're toying with more at the AAA level, including the electronic strike zone, a robot ump, however you want to term it. What's been the reaction to that among the minor league world?
The problem we're having with it is walks are way up in AAA. The last time I looked, I should really update my data here, but they were up 15% in the International League and 20% in the Pacific Coast League. That's entirely due to the automated strike zone. What we're discovering is that the real strike zone is actually a lot smaller than the strike zone that gets called. And so, on the one hand, you say, I want the real strike zone to be called. Call it like it is in the rule book. Yeah, that's fine until you have 18 walks in a game and everybody's trying to pull their own eyes out with a plastic fork because nobody wants to see that. I think even hitters would tell you in general that's not the kind of baseball they want to be playing. And so that's the adjustment they're going to have to make. And I do think that's going to be a bit of a struggle for Major League Baseball to try to figure out what's the best way to do this. Do they recalibrate the strike zone so that pitchers have a little bit more of an even chance? You want to find that perfect balance between hitters and pitchers. And I worry that the way they're calling it in AAA right now, that might go a little too far in the hitter's direction.
Keith, we started with the A's. Let's end on the A's, and let's look at that farm system. I know that earlier this year you had them ranked 27th, which is pretty amazing considering some of the big trades that they've made in recent history. What's gone wrong there with their evaluation of prospects and not getting enough for some of the guys that they dealt?
Yeah, all of the above. I think you've got it all, right? They have not drafted particularly well. They have not done well in trades. They have particularly seemed to target in trades. They've gone after guys who used to be prospects. Maybe they're a year off of their peak value. And I think a lot of the times they think they're getting, you're getting a guy a little cheaper, or you're getting a guy at a discount. Not enough of those guys have worked out for Oakland. And in the draft, I like their guys. I don't, this is not personal. I've gotten to know a lot of their scouts over the years, but they've had some pretty big first round misses. I'm not even talking about Kyler Murray. I'm talking about the guys who signed and got into the system and who just weren't good enough to be picked where they were picked. That's the thing that they really have to address. And they're just, right now, unfortunately, their last couple of drafts are not contributing enough to the system to pull them out of that bottom tier.
So I lied. I got one more question for you.
Yeah,
we talked about the Giants, and you brought up some of those names. How do you feel their system is? What kind of shape do you think the San Francisco Giants are in right now down on the farm?
I thought, I don't remember where I ranked them exactly coming into the season, but I was definitely down on them and pointed out, they just had a bad year down on the farm. A lot of guys got hurt. A lot of guys underperformed. That would include Patrick Bailey, who's been better in the minors and at least been a little bit better in the majors so far. What I think has happened is almost everyone that struggled last year, they're all getting healthy, and now they're all playing a lot better. So I think the arrow is very strongly pointing up for them at this point.
Great stuff, Keith. Thank you. We always appreciate the time, my man. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
There goes Keith Law, MLB senior writer for The Athletic. He was on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. It truly is amazing, Ramie, in all the wrong ways, to look at, the opportunity, because we get wrapped up into this A's Vegas talk, as we should be. But we talk about the on-field product at the big league level, and we talk about the Vegas move. We can't overlook the terrible job that this front office has likely done, because you always kind of leave some wiggle room because prospects develop at different phases, different stages, and different times and ages. But when you look at, what the A's have received from some of the trades they've made in recent years, man, the opportunity was there to field a young, competitive, fun, athletic baseball team, and it looks like they just completely missed the mark.
Yeah. But that doesn't shock me, Nick. You know what I mean? We can go back in history with the Kings.
But Moneyball, Ramie.
I know. But we can go back in history with the Kings, and dysfunction at one level of an organization usually indicates dysfunction at many, if not all levels of that organization. You know what I mean? So the fact that their front office and their scouting department is not up to par is not shocking to me. The Oakland Coliseum is a physical representation of what the A's are as an organization.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's not surprising to me. Chaos at one level usually means chaos exists at all levels.
And the problem, I joked about Moneyball. The problem is, Moneyball years ago was a thing when you were ahead of the curve.
Yes.
And then when people started to figure it out and analytically change the way and their methods of evaluating talent,
people poached that front office.
And then you got in some trouble.
And there are, you have coaching trees, you have front office trees that grow from there. And now you have people with the same information at their fingertips and with much, much more resources. So that leveling of the playing field has been negated.
Who's to blame's next?
The Kings season might be over, but Sactown Sports coverage never stops.
I feel like we grew a lot during this playoff series with our defense, and if we can sustain that during the year, that's going to help us a lot.
Stay tuned all off-season to Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Cal Hope.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Skies will stay clear through the night tonight, with overnight lows dropping down into the mid to upper 50s. Beautiful day for Friday. Sunshine, a breeze, and a high of 82. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. CalHope can help. Access CalHope's free and secure mental health resources today. Call 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org.
Hey, Scott, you look great.
Yeah, I'm feeling good and have a new job.
No, there's something different about the way you look.
To be honest, a few months ago, I had an amazing robotic hair transplant procedure at XL Medicine. It's called the Artist Procedure.
No way. Your hair looks completely natural, and you don't even have a scar. How did they do that?
Dude, the Artist system is amazing. I have this fantastic hairline, and I'm happy with my results. XL Medicine could probably help you too, buddy.
Using the ARTIS procedure, Dr. Singh and Dr. Graywall can target and harvest healthy hair follicles with micron-level accuracy from the back of your head and transplant them where you need it. The procedure is painless, and you'll be back doing your regular activities in a couple of days. Ask Dr. Singh and Dr. Graywall at Excel Medicine about the ARTIS procedure. Call today, 916-932-4470. That's 932-4470 for a complimentary in-person or Zoom consultation, or on the web at excelmedicine.com. That's EXCEL medicine.com. See what the ARTIS procedure can do for you.
These are actors and not real patients.
At the United States Postal Service, we're reinventing our network to help keep your business moving. With new shipping options to deliver better value, greater flexibility to conveniently reach your customers, more confident shipping with new informed delivery features, and new electric vehicles for a cleaner, brighter future. Fast, reliable, perfectly orchestrated. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America. Learn more at USPS.com/moving forward.
Take as little as 3 minutes to see if you could save on motorcycle insurance with Progressive. Come on, you've spent more time than that trying to name your bike.
How about the Crusher? I guess it's not really crushing anything. The Silver Bolt? No. Oh, what about Pepper? Mysterious. Is it a pet or a condiment? Surprise! It's a motorcycle. No, that's stupid.
Get a quote in as little as 3 minutes at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hey kids, Carmichael Dave here. Memorial Day, it's really the year's first big outdoor party. Friends, family, fun, and food. Man, Amy's Outdoor Living has food options for you. Maybe even change it up a bit with the new Uni Pizza Oven. Think about it. Dogs, burgers, and pizza. You're a hero. 100%. Right now at Amy's, save 20% on a new Uni Caru Pizza Oven at just $239. $239 for a pizza oven. You ready to barbecue? The Traeger Timberline 850, that's the one I have, and the 1300 Geb one are reduced by $600 for Memorial Day. Amy's also has a great selection of umbrellas in stock, perfect for shade in this warm weather. Need patio furniture? From now to Memorial Day, Amy's will pay the sales tax on all in-stock patio furniture, cushions, and umbrellas. Amy's Outdoor Living, El Camino near Watt, and inside Amy Ace Hardware in the El Dorado Town Center.
What would it take for a plumbing company to earn your trust? Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And let's face it, plumbing and service companies don't always have the best reputation.
So to earn your trust, the first thing they'd have to do is actually answer the phone when you call with a real live person. Then they'd have to send a plumber when you needed them, day or night, without charging extra for emergency services.
A trustworthy plumber would show up on time, wearing a clean uniform and name badge, and be able to show that they had passed a background check and drug test.
A plumber you could trust would give you a firm quote on the job before starting and clean up after they finish the job.
That's exactly the plumber you'll get when you call Bell Brothers. A plumber you can trust. Call Bell Brothers right now for all your plumbing needs. Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton. See all our inventory and specials at AcuraofStockton.com.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines. I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings prospect Sasha Vinchenkov exited Game 2 of the Greek League Finals with an apparent right knee injury. He was carried off the floor and is receiving medical care, including an MRI, to determine the severity of the injury. Cattles and Ramie will keep you posted with updates as we get them. Denver Nuggets clapped back in historic fashion last night for Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray became the first duo to post 30-point triple-doubles in the 109-94 win, dousing the Miami Heat amid the palm trees of Kaseya Center last night. Nuggets take the 2-1 series lead. Heat looking to get back in the win column when they host Game 4 of the Finals tomorrow. Back on the left coast, gotta rack up Nevada's special sessions on the A's relocation, highlight the latest alien free agency notes, and tap into some Cattles and Ramie Thursday funkiness. If you miss anything, rewatch the fun over at Sactown Sports' very own YouTube page, or download us wherever you enjoy your podcasts. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. We got Who's to Blame next coming up on Cattles and Ramie.
Who did what and why? Who are you pointing the finger at?
It's not whether you win or lose. It's how you place the blame.
It's Who to Blame
on Cattles and Ramie.
Yeah. Who's to blame? You can blame me giving away some Nikki Glazer tickets because we're going to do that in a little bit. Stay tuned for that.
Time to point some fingers.
Simone like that.
Here on the Cattles and Ramie show.
She appreciated it more than you did. Definitely more than Kyle. Kyle's not as chipper today. I think it's probably my fault.
I mean, you started off the show.
Yeah, I cut him off at the knees.
Beating him up.
Absolutely.
Took me about 90 seconds to get after him today.
You set the tone early for the game, and I think now that we're in the third quarter, we've kind of kept the tone going.
And some might say that it was unfair.
It was.
I think it was totally fair.
No, totally uncalled
This is more
for.
reputational than anything else.
Unwarranted.
You made your bed, Kyle, and you're lying in it, my friend.
I haven't had the windows to make jokes today.
Thank God. Let's get to Who's to Blame. And we're gonna mix it up a little bit today. Who's to Blame has to do with video games and college football. Here's the deal. College football players have been urged to boycott the EA Sports college football game. Here's some of what's going on. This is from Pete Nakos from On3. I have no idea what that outlet is, but that's who wrote this.
Oh.
Kyle is jumping to the microphone. Who is it? You got it? No, tell me.
On3 is a very popular college football website.
Oh,
okay.
I'm a college football fan. I don't even know that.
How'd you not know that? Add it to the bookmarks.
Damn it. All right, so according to Kyle, On3 is a very popular college football website. And Pete Nakos wrote about this recently. So last month, EA Sports announced players would be paid for their NIL to be used in the college football video game, which is slated to return in 2024. EA has contracted one-team partners to facilitate college athletes' likeness. A source told On3 the cash pool for athletes was in the $5 million neighborhood. Now, when you hear $5 million, you're like, pretty good money. But when you think about how many college football players there are in this game, then it would pay out about $500 per player, Ramie. Sportico has also reported that there are no royalties. No royalties. None. For Justin Falcinelli, who is the vice president of the College Football Players Association, that don't fly, as Mike Brown would say. The organization tried to establish its first chapter at Penn State last summer. The PA is now urging athletes to boycott the game with the hope EA will reconsider its payouts to athletes. Who's to blame, Ramie, for this beef?
It's EA Sports and the NCAA and their greed, obviously. $500 per player, Nick. $500 per player. And no royalties. That's insulting.
It's like, if you're going to give me $500, you should at least entertain giving me the royalties.
I don't get the popularity of the EA Sports college football game, but this thing is huge. I don't know why when Madden's out there and the NFL is out there, but it's huge. People are still, Nick, playing and streaming.
Yeah.
And making money streaming.
I have the old school one.
The
like
last
really old
version of the EA Sports.
NCAA 14.
NCAA 14, is that what it was? 10 years later, people are, and you have the gall, the audacity, the temerity to offer these dudes $500 per player and no royalties on what is probably almost literally $1 billion product, in my estimation.
Oh, more than that.
All right, so let's drill down on that greed, because I think a lot of us would agree that it's, EA Sports side. So I found this article, The Business of College Sports, from Christy Dosh. She wrote this May 17th, so a little under a month ago. Almost exactly 10 years ago, I wrote as ESPN sports business reporter about how much schools were making from EA Sports video games. It was an important topic at the time because of Ed O'Bannon's lawsuit against the video game maker. Now, this was from 10 years ago. This was from Christy 10 years ago, Christy Dosh. Industry analysts at that time told Sports Illustrated the NCAA football franchise likely accounted for just 5% of EA Sports' total revenue per year. If you're wondering what that is, it's $125 million. So 10 years ago, NCAA football for EA Sports accounted for $125 million of revenue. Where does it go? Well, one team who was going to be, distributing this thing and they get 30% of the revenue. So one team will get 30% of the revenue. The schools also get a slice of the revenue, and it depends on what school and all that. And if you're wondering, Ed O'Bannon's lawsuit, the aforementioned lawsuit, obviously O'Bannon won that lawsuit. There were some guys that were kind of named in the lawsuit that got more money. They got like 15. Some of them got like 15 grand or whatever. But they had 24,918 athletes. Those 24,918 athletes got anywhere from $100 to $9,300 for winning that lawsuit. So you're telling me that, again, 7 years after that lawsuit,
let me get this correct.
Athletes were getting $100.
I want to get this correct.
$100 to $9,300, and 7 years later, the best you could do is $500, no royalties.
Unreal.
Especially because this is, without question, when that game comes out, the biggest sports video game release in history.
Which I don't understand, but
part of it's the exclusivity. They haven't made a game in 11 years. It is going to be, without question, the highest selling sports video game of all time.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying I've never understood the popularity. I can talk. The popularity of that game.
I loved it when I played video games, so I understand it.
I still have a copy of NCAA 13 on Xbox sitting in my apartment. I don't have an Xbox anymore, but I still have the game.
I do still have an Xbox
give
at
it to
my
me.
parents' house.
Scoop-de-Whoop says, do you guys know Shaq, Kenny, and Ernie don't make $1 for being on 2K? I'll take your word for it, but he says people want to be in video games for free. Well, yeah, people that are well paid and make millions of dollars are fine with being in video games for free.
I'm sure that's worked into their TNT contract.
College athletes, let's not compare college athletes to Shaq, Kenny, and Ernie. They are well compensated. And if you're saying, oh, Alabama, blah, blah, this is college athletes, like college football players for other universities who are not making tons of bank from NIL and not making tons of bank from boosters who are dropping duffel bags still to this day at their front door. This is all college football players that are in this game. So let's not compare them to millionaires. They're doing just fine.
Unreal.
So there you have it.
And yeah, I talked about this with the PGA and Liv the other day. Just the shamelessness of the rich there is no end to it. There is no limit to the shamelessness of the rich. To even go to those college kids and say, oh, here's $500 and no royalties for your likeness on this game that's going to make $1 billion. Like they have no shame at all. Not even a little bit.
We might regret this segment coming up. And I know I was supposed to give away Nikki Glazer tickets, and I will.
Give away the tickets.
You know what? I'll give away the tickets
right now.
right now.
We got time. We got time.
Look at you. Look at the both of you.
Just do it.
Motivating me. This is good stuff.
Get it done.
Like, let's do this, huh?
Let's
give away some tickets, Robbie.
Let's go.
Nikki Glazer tickets.
There we go.
Good Girl Comedy Tour coming to the Hard Rock Live Sacramento, October 14th. Forget the clock. Looking for caller number 10 to the Folsom Lake Honda hotline / contest line, 1-800-920-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Caller number 10 to that contest line wins a pair of tickets to the Nikki Glazer Good Girl Comedy Tour coming to the Hard Rock Live in Sacramento, of course, October 14th. Congratulations to caller number 10. Thanks to Live Nation, who has your plug to check out Nikki Glazer. And I'll give you the number one more time. 1-800-920-1140 is how you get those ducats. Okay, as I was saying, we might regret this segment because Simone takes over the show next.
Steve Hill.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie. I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Skies will stay clear through the night tonight with overnight lows dropping down into the mid to upper 50s. Beautiful day for Friday. Sunshine, a breeze, and a high of 82.
Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
Plumbing, electrical, heating and air, everything that makes your home your home. With Bonnie, you sure got that covered. And right now, get your air conditioner tuned up for just $79. Originally $129. Bonnie.com.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Zero down with approved credit.
Wells Fargo lets you know where you stand with your FICO credit score. What if you knew where you stood with everything? Like your kids' friends.
Hey, boys. How do cows stay informed?
Dad, don't.
They read the Moo paper.
Mr. Otis, you're the funniest.
It's good to know where you stand. And when it comes to your FICO credit score, you can with a Wells Fargo account.
Visit wellsfargo.com/getfico to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. FICO is a registered trademark of Fair Isaac Corporation in the United States and other countries. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. member FDIC.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. We're looking for silver linings in what has been a difficult year for the A's, and perhaps players the A's could build around for the future. What about first baseman Ryan Noda? As I'm recording this, among American League rookies, he's first in walks, he's first in on base at 403, and also third in OPS. Not bad for a Rule 5 selection this past offseason from the Dodgers. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
Guys, did you know that June is Men's Health Month? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T level is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your hormones are serious business, and most men start to see changes in their hormone levels starting in their 30s. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Get your T levels checked today by a local, experienced, and trusted healthcare professional. Revive Men's Health has successfully helped thousands of men since 2011. Experience and results matter. So, what are you waiting for? Call Revive today to schedule your free testosterone test and free exam. We know we can help you. We guarantee it. Celebrate Men's Health Month. Get your free T-level test and save $199. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
With you 1 mile at a time during the afternoon drive. Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Well, I wouldn't say this is the moment we've all been waiting for. I would more aptly say this is the moment Simone's been waiting for.
I've been waiting for it.
That's true.
He's hooked.
I enjoy this.
I would like to bring up this might have been my idea, which I could quickly
You
regret.
may regret.
Could quickly regret that.
There's some great sound we're going to get to.
All right, so last night, before I hand this segment off to our expert, Simone, last night was part 3 because they apparently
this was
needed
the third and final part.
Third and final.
Oh, wow.
You know,
So now it's over
over.
till next season.
until they hoodwink you and they come back with like a fourth in like a month from now.
No.
Yeah. So last night was part 3 because apparently everybody was dying for 3 parts when we talk about a reunion, because 1 reunion show is not enough. Let's pump 3 out there.
You need 3, yeah.
So last night was part 3 of the Vanderpump Rules reunion. And Simone, you are the expert.
Yes.
I have
She's
no
our Vanderpump
idea.
insider.
I don't get the show. I don't know the show. I don't watch the show. I do know that the show is popular.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Culturally, it's so important. So important. Go on.
It's probably a reach.
It's not how I describe it, but okay.
Probably a reach. But people love this thing.
They do.
So
they do.
Just kind of a quick, before we get into the reunion part of it, the quickest synopsis of this show that you can give to people who are listening like me who have no clue.
Right. It is a show based in West Hollywood that follows young, hot, wannabe restaurateurs. They all used to work at one restaurant. They became so popular. Now they own their own restaurants.
Oh, they've branched out.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I thought they all just
They
worked.
all used to be terrible like servers and
They
interact
worked
with each
for
other.
Lisa
and,
Vanderpump.
Yep. And cheat on
hence
each
the
other.
title.
But now
A restaurateur in her own right.
Yeah, but who
Yes.
I missed her name, honestly.
Lisa Vanderpump.
Lisa, okay.
Yeah. And now they're just doing their thing. They all have their own companies and different things that they're working on. They're all still cheating on each other.
Wait, so they all go out with each other?
Yeah.
Very incestual.
Very incestuous. So the big deal was that this couple that was together for 9-10 years, it was just found out that he had been cheating on her with another fellow cast member. And they had already filmed everything, and then
it was a cast member? I thought this was just some rando.
No.
Oh.
And they're interacting in scenes together, and she's like loving on her and taking care of her. And we all know as an audience that this scandal is coming, but they've already filmed it. So it's just a really interesting space to be consuming that.
So you're watching the fraudulent action.
Yes, they're already
in
hooking
real
up.
time
Yeah,
because
they're already hooking up with each other, but
right.
That's pretty great.
They don't know it, but we as an audience do.
I mean, it's awful. They're awful people, but entertainment factor, that's pretty
So
great.
for the
That
reunion,
does actually sound pretty good.
Yeah,
Right?
it's
Damn it.
yes! Oh my god,
Damn
you're
it.
gonna love it.
The regrets.
all the wrestling people, all sports. Anyone who loves sports can get into it, and we definitely have our fighters.
Still in the
and
Bravo cinematic universe.
yes, it's a beautiful thing. Let us maybe toss to some of the sound bites from the part 3 reunion.
Yes.
Kyle, pick one of them, and I'll just backspace it. I'll backfill it.
Sandoval, have you slept with anyone else since you and Raquel started sleeping together?
No.
What
Not
about the
that girl
girl
in
after?
Chicago?
What about the girl after the bar after you
Dude,
played
you
on
guys,
a Thursday night?
you guys, where are you getting your information?
Well, no, you know who he did sleep with after him and Raquel started sleeping together? Me.
You know, she kept her T-shirt on. It was really hot.
Gross. That was the quote that everyone was like, "Oh, we're gonna kill him." Isn't that so disgusting? And that's coming from the mouth of a cheater.
And what's his nickname again for people who don't know?
Sandoval? I mean, that's his name is Sandoval, so the whole thing is called the Sandoval.
Also,
all right, let me ask you this.
Also, the
Disgusting.
t-shirt look.
We all
Not
know.
bad.
I'm with
Not
it.
bad. Yeah.
The old Winnie the Pooh. The old Donald Duck. I'm dripping wet, buck naked.
Winnie the Pooh.
I'm a fan. I'm just saying.
Okay, so we all know reality TV.
Yes.
And how it's done.
Yes. You're gonna ask me a question
Now
about production.
there's probably a high probability
yes.
that this dude saying things like that just
Think it's-
because he knows
It's
that's
inflammatory.
that's his character at this point.
I think he
Right?
really
Playing into the
I
heel.
don't-
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think he knew how disgusting it sounded. I think he was trying to say like, oh, she wasn't giving me that crazy intimacy. And I don't think he knew how bad it landed.
Okay.
I don't know.
Even though he said off the top, no, I haven't slept with anyone.
Right.
Do you watch this? Obviously, Kyle.
Dude,
No.
I learned about this from Simone 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So you didn't.
He's in the same boat as us,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
want
but,
you guys to
but
think
how-
about it like a Super Bowl. It's
but he knows the
weeks
context.
long.
I've been listening and being empathetic and hearing what Simone has been having to say for 4 weeks.
Okay.
So all my information is coming from Simone.
Okay.
And Michael Rappaport.
Empathetic.
You know what?
The friend of the show?
You know what Kyle really means.
No.
He's been stuck listening to you babble about this for the
A lot of
last
people
month,
have
and
questions.
he's a really good friend, and
I'm
so
just here to
he's
give
just
the people
he's,
what they need.
he's there to absorb it and let you vent.
Yes.
Let's go over to Michael Rappaport. I think he puts a nice bow on this whole Vanderpump situation now that we
The
have
reason
to lay
why
her to
the
rest.
fans hate them so much is because
Tom represents every guy that has cheated on every girl.
Amen.
And Raquel represents the girl that did the cheating. Raquel represents the best friend that stabbed you in the back. Tom didn't cheat on you. Tom didn't cheat on me. Rachel, a.k.a. Raquel, a.k.a. that Bambi-eyed B-word, she didn't cheat behind my back or your back. It happened to Ariana, and it happened to that friend group.
Bambi-eyed B-word?
Yeah, that's a quote.
All right.
B-I-M-B, you can fill in the rest.
So first question, what's Michael Rappaport have to do with
He's fully engaged. He's fully engaged.
But
We're
is he
going to
like-
have him on
he's
as
like-
a guest.
he's like an
I got
analyst
questions
at this
for him.
point.
Michael
Hold on.
Rappaport's
Yeah.
a super fan.
Hold on, who's we?
When you were out,
me and Jay.
when you were out, we were efforting Michael Rappaport.
Do it as a
talk about
podcast. Sounds
Yeah.
great. But is he a part of the show?
No.
This
No,
is
he's
like,
just a
this
super
is like
fan.
if we got a Bill Simmons on to
No,
talk
I
basketball.
understand. Super. I just didn't know if he was part of
No,
the
I'm-
reunion, and this was his take on the reunion.
I'm giving
show.
you a sports explanation or
Yeah.
comparison. This would be like if we got a Bill Simmons on to talk basket or a Mike Breen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No,
Like,
I understand.
this is his area of expertise.
No,
The first
but
time
what-
I got to talk about this was because he put out a video saying that this is our Super Bowl today.
I get he's a super. I understand. I understand the thought of having him on the show. My question was he actually a part of the reunion
No,
shows?
no.
Because sometimes they bring in celebrity, quote
no.
unquote,
to
hosts.
like interview him.
Yeah.
No, just Andy Cohen.
I didn't know if he was on the reunion show and that was
No.
kind of his take on the show.
Just our Lord and Savior, Andy Cohen. Yeah.
You got to stop. It's got at some point.
It's been real to be on the radio. I think this is my last
At some
go
point, it
round.
gets bad, and I feel like we're teetering towards bad with you in
No,
the show.
it's over. It's over. It's over. I'm done.
And by the way, Michael Rappaport, what's he get off of treating every person who's cheating on somebody as a monolith? You know what I
Are
mean?
you-
He's like, it's like every male who's done that.
It feels like you're a part of that group.
No,
Oh,
I've
okay.
never cheated on anybody.
This scandal is so stereotypical of a best friend cheating with a longtime partner that it feels
Right.
like it's relatable.
Yeah.
But he's just like, I just didn't like how he framed it. That's all I'd say.
The generalization
Because
of it. Okay.
like no one agrees with cheating, but people cheat for different reasons at different
Ew.
times. And you don't
Relationships are complicated.
Yeah, you don't treat it
Guys.
as just like one lump sum. You know what I mean? I wouldn't treat every cheater as like, that person. It's almost making it sound like they did the same exact thing for the same exact reasons in the same exact way. I just didn't like how he framed it.
Okay.
But I get the whole relatable idea. I get that.
I enjoyed this. I don't know about you.
Enjoyed's a strong word. Yeah.
I'm gonna get you into it.
I like getting a peek into different worlds that I'm not really a part of.
I honestly would likely enjoy at least parts of this.
I'm
show.
sure you could go and watch it.
So
I'm sure
now,
you go back
Simone,
and find
people go their separate ways for a couple months and then they start
Yeah.
filming? Is that
we
how
don't
it
know.
works?
That's the crisis of it all.
Oh,
is
so we don't know if this is the end of Vanderpump?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Well, because they're all fighting. Do you let that guy come back in? And they were together because they were a couple, and now they don't want to speak to him anymore. I don't know if the infrastructure can support itself without these
Here's my
demon
prediction.
people.
He is going to be back.
You think so, huh?
I mean,
Yes.
he's the villain now.
Yeah,
He's
what
the-
are we doing?
He's the back guy.
He's the reason why
Yeah.
people are
I don't
like
know if they'll
watching this
interact
in
with him,
droves.
though.
Yeah.
I don't know
They'll
if that-
interact. You want to know why they'll interact? Because it's reality.
Has
TV.
the whole friend group turned on him?
Yeah.
Let me finish.
Even his dudes?
There's one guy,
Okay.
Can I get to
a
my
business
point
partner.
first?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Before you railroad me and ask a separate question.
Go ahead. Ed.
So here's the thing I've said. Like, number one, he'll be back because it's reality TV.
Okay.
Which is not reality. Number two, they're all making money off this jerk.
Yeah.
And they will
lot
say,
of coin.
we got to have him on.
This drama's good for everybody.
Yes,
Yeah.
because they'll just
if you
yell at
will.
him next
Yeah.
season, and he'll
Yep.
be the jerk next season, and they'll do a reunion show probably in 5 parts next year, and they'll do the same thing, and they'll make tons of money off of people like you.
Didn't I send you? There
No.
you go again, throwing around the people like you people stuff. That's loaded language, man. It's loaded language you're just throwing around there.
Terrible.
But oh man, I forgot the question I was about to ask.
Good,
Aaron, so
because
I'll just-
we're out of time.
I'll just
Yeah.
leave it right there.
Just save it for tomorrow,
Mhm.
or
Thank you, guys.
when I'm not here.
No, thank you.
When I'm
for
on
this
vacation
No,
or
no.
safe
something.
space.
Thank you, Simone.
I'll be mourning, but somehow I'll get through it.
You will get through
I
it.
remember what
Trust
I
me.
was about to say. I can't believe his boys bailed on him.
You've gone through much worse.
Yeah, he deserves it. He deserves.
I wouldn't stand by
noble-
my friend if he was a cheating scum.
Yeah. Ramie.
All right. See, and Simone was giving me the eyes earlier when I was just trying to say not every cheating
That's
situation
my
is the
guy.
same.
I'm going to bail on my guy.
But I'm happy you dropped that bomb because
People
now
make
what I said
mistakes. I'm supposed to bail on my friend?
looks much better.
Ramie's a big forgive and forget.
Yes, exactly. People aren't disposable.
Again, it's in the details.
Yeah,
It's in the details.
absolutely.
All right, top story coming up.
The fact that you are capable of this unbelievable. You're a Dementor. I know you like Harry Potter.
Cattles
And Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Thunder, feel the thunder. It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
It's Thunder Valley's $20,000 20th anniversary cash giveaway. 5 winners on Friday and Saturday nights in June. One very lucky guest wins $20,000 guaranteed. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, you're starting to speak another language.
Babbel's lessons are voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. If you want to learn a language, there's no better way than
Babbel.
Text radio to 64,000 to try Babbel for free. Text radio to 64,000.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. It's normal. With CalHope's free and secure mental health resources, it's easy to get the help you and your loved ones need when you need it the most. Call or text our warm line at 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street. Right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings prospect Sasha Vinchenkov exited Game 2 of the Greek League Finals with an apparent right knee injury. He was carried off the floor and is receiving medical care, including an MRI, to determine the severity of the injury. Cattles and Ramie will keep you posted with updates as we get them. Denver Nuggets clapped back in historic fashion last night for Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray became the first duo to post 30-point triple-doubles in the 109-94 win, dousing the Miami Heat amid the palm trees of Kaseya Center last night. Nuggets take the 2-1 series lead. Heat looking to get back in the win column when they host Game 4 of the Finals tomorrow. Back on the left coast, gotta rack up Nevada's special sessions on the A's relocation, highlight the latest alien free agency notes, and tap into some Cattles and Ramie Thursday funkiness. If you miss anything, rewatch the fun over at Sactown Sports' very own YouTube page, or download us wherever you enjoy your podcasts. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. We got the top spot coming at you right now on Cattles and Ramie.
Did you miss the headline and the top story of the day?
Extra, read all about it.
Don't worry, because we got you covered.
This is how we do.
It's the Cattles and Ramie
Top Spot.
Final hour of the show, and it feels good. Thank you for being with us. As always, we love you for being along this ride. All right, the top spot, finals. The NBA game at number 3. Last night, big-time response, Ramie, from Denver. Obviously, Miami did their job in Denver, took 1 out of the 2. And what you got to do if you're the Nuggets is come right back in game 3 and take home court advantage back, and that's precisely what they did. Mic check.
Do you think it's a tactic, or do you think that there's really that there can really be inconsistent effort when we get to the NBA Finals? Because Michael Malone, he called out his team's effort and focus in game 2, and then after game 3, Jimmy Butler came out and essentially did the same thing, saying we can't come out and play like that, and it can't happen again. We got to have better energy. Are these guys just trying to squeeze a little bit more juice out of the lemon? Or how do we get to the finals and teams still aren't, ready for game night, so to speak? Miami was, on no pun intended, on fire. You had DJ Khaled in the house. The place was on fire. And then they just come out and fizzle right out. And that was the same thing that happened to Denver in game 2. I can't wrap my head around that, Nick. Inconsistent effort or energy in the NBA Finals, of all things, on your home court. And it's happened to both these teams now, and we're only 3 games into this series.
It's a good question because we've seen it at all levels of this postseason, right?
Yes.
Like the Celtics game 3 in Miami was an embarrassment. I mean, they just laid over and died in that game, which was just awful. So it is an interesting question. Look, yes, there was some effort and some energy questions last night, but I really feel like we just saw the better team playing at a higher level, and there's no doubt they had a little bit more urgency than the Heat did for whatever reason, which is surprising because you never anticipate that from Miami. The one thing you almost feel like you're going to see from the Heat is urgency and energy and effort. They might not make shots like they didn't last night, but you'll see that effort for like 48 minutes. I just think, the better team came in more confident and they were more aggressive. And I just feel like it was almost like a fight where the Nuggets punched first and the Heat kind of stumbled back. And by the time they tried to adjust, it was too late and the air was out of the building. And they said, yeah, this ain't going to work.
And while I've said you don't count out the Heat, and I'm still saying don't count out the Heat in this series, they've made you look stupid counting them out in 3 previous series. And I'm talking that applies to most of the people within the sound of my voice. Heck, that applies to me in terms of counting out the Heat and then making a fool out of you. But the talent deficit is real, Nick. And I don't think that's disrespectful to say that.
Not at all.
This Denver team is a better team. Miami has to win on the margins, and Miami has to shoot at, as you've described, historic levels to win games and stay in this series. And not only 31%, 11 of 35 from three-point land yesterday, but while Denver was 20 of 29 in the restricted area, 69%, Miami was 8 for 23 around the basket, 34.8%. Denver's almost doubled their points in the paint, 60 to 34, and had a 25 rebound advantage, 58 to 33. They will not win a game in this series. They won't win most of the games they play, regardless of opponent, if those are the numbers that we're looking at in the box score when all is said and done.
100% agree. Christian, I always want to call him Braun, especially last night after JVG said
Braun.
it. Yeah. Christian Brown, he really showed out. He won the others battle last night.
Yeah.
His fourth quarter was just tremendous. That dude was a force.
Yeah, Brown.
There we go. Yeah, Brown. Thank you. He was a force last night, especially in that fourth quarter. I mean, he had all the Duncan Robinson vibes in the fourth quarter from game 2 when Duncan went on that 10-0 like individual run. Brown was the most important nugget in the first couple minutes of that fourth quarter. He was great, 15-4, shot 7 of 8 from the field. And what I loved about Brown is that he attacked the zone. And the Nuggets did that for the most part last night. The entire team attacked the zone. They were attacking the driving lanes that were open because of that zone. And I thought Brown attacked even when they were not in zone, but he was cutting off the basketball tremendously. Most of his buckets were just off of cuts and finishing at the rim. I thought he was great. You want to talk about energy? I thought he brought tremendous energy for the Nuggets. And when you talk energy, Ramie, you can also talk about pace. And I saw this from Stool Greeny from Barstool, Dan Greenberg. He tweeted out, the Nuggets were able to get the pace back up in game 3. Made a pretty noticeable difference. So in game 1, the pace was a 93.0, 94.0 in the fourth quarter. Obviously, that was a win. Game 2, the pace of the game dropped to 86.5. And get this, the pace in the fourth quarter of game 2 was 78. That is a stale pace. Yeah, tell him, Mike. Coach Brown. 78 for the pace in the fourth quarter in game 2. That is just, that's pace. That's a fist fight in a phone booth. And then last night, game 3, 92.5 was the pace. 92 was the pace in the fourth quarter. So when you look at game 1 and game 3, pace-wise, 92 to 94-ish is, Denver pretty much wins.
If you drop the action.
Yeah, if you drop below 90, especially if you get into the mid-80s for the game and below 80 in the fourth quarter, Miami's going to feel great about their chance.
That means and you hear coaches say that all the time, making you play their style rather than playing your own style.
Yep.
And again, they're not going to win those types of games. They're just
pace.
They need a very specific formula to win games, Nick. And that's usually the case with an underdog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With when you're talking about the favorite and the better team, the more talented team, there's probably a number of different ways that they could win the series or win a game. With the Miami Heat, there is a very, very specific recipe that's required for them to win games and to win this series. And last night, it was everything that recipe was not. They didn't. That's why they didn't have a chance to win that game. Basically from tip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There were ebbs and flows and some little mini comebacks from Miami, but that was never really in question or in doubt yesterday.
No.
At all.
So part of that pace conversation is the zone, because Miami deploys the zone usually in the fourth quarter to slow the game down, to force offenses to, have trouble getting shots off quickly and efficiently. And Jason Timp from The Volume tweeted out, Denver's defense was their best offense against Miami's zone. They got stops on 10 of their first 13 possessions, which prevented Miami from setting up their zone because they only set up that zone after they make a shot. After those 13 possessions, Denver was up 18. The game was over. And, you mentioned this about the Heat playing their game. Yeah, man, like they have less talent and they have to win their way. They've got to outgrind you. They've got to outwork you. They've got to outshoot you from 3. They have to be able to play that zone consistently in stretches to slow the other team down. And when they can't do those things, they're going to have trouble because they're the less talented team. Meanwhile, we could just really boil this thing down to Jokic and Murray. Combined last night, Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray combined last night, 66 points, 31 rebounds, 20 dimes. The counting stats are great.
And 2 triple-doubles. Don't leave that out of the counting stats. They both had triple-doubles.
The shooting was even better.
Yeah, it's the effectiveness for me.
They shot a combined 24 of 43, which is almost 56% from the floor. They shot 4 of 8 from 3, which obviously my advanced mathematical skills tells me that's 50%. And here's the other thing about Jokic and Murray that I'm not sure that people are truly appreciating today. They played a ton of minutes. Michael Malone said, yeah, my 2 guys.
44 and 45 minutes.
My 2 guys are going to lead this huge game 3.
That's what you do in the finals too, man.
Yep.
That's exactly what you do in the finals. You don't leave any gas in the tank. You don't leave any bullets in the gun. Leave it all out there on the court. What other cliches can I use?
I was waiting to see how many you can come up
across. Can I give you one more quick weird stat? That's more just about the NBA Finals before we go to a break. But
nobody loves a quick, weird stat like I do.
It pertains to this series. Since 2013, that's when the NBA switched to the 2-2-1-1-1 format for the NBA Finals.
Yes.
Since then, teams that lose game 1 or 2 on their home court are undefeated in those series that they've played. All 5 have gone on to win the championship. That was the Warriors last year, the Raptors in 19, Warriors in 15, Spurs in 14, and the Heat in 13. In that same span, Nick Cattles, teams that won the first 2 games, that held home court advantage through the first 2 games, are only 3-2, and one of those 3 is the Los Angeles Lakers in the bubble where there was no home court advantage. So basically, teams are 500 when holding home court advantage through the first 2 games since the finals went to the 2-2-1-1-1 format. Makes 0 sense whatsoever.
That was weird. It's a weird stat.
Isn't that strange?
Small sample size.
Small sample size, sure, but still, it's very strange.
It's odd, yeah.
All right, coming up in 90 seconds, we'll have some fun with NBA free agency.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
I suffered with plantar fasciitis for almost 20 years.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life.
If you suffer with plantar fasciitis, the search for pain relief can feel like an endless and hopeless ordeal.
I would try drugstore, insoles and supports.
I've been through surgeries, foot injections.
I was trying all different things. Not a single one worked.
If you think you've tried everything to relieve your foot pain, you probably haven't tried arch supports from the Good Feet store.
And then I was driving past the Good Feet store, and I thought, why not? Give it a try. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support for my feet. Then it was like, okay, this is different. These make a difference.
I don't have foot pain anymore. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. It changed my life.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
With you 1 mile at a time during the afternoon drive. Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
All right, so I thought there would be one segment that I had no idea what to expect when we had Simone take over the show.
We're good. We're fine.
Vanderpump Rules.
It's on me.
Until we reached 5:15 today.
The communication there was lack of communication was on me.
Then it's clear.
But I got this.
Then it's clear to me.
We are good to go.
That we're in trouble.
No, we're not. We're not in any trouble at all.
So let me just bring this back. Let's open up the curtain a little bit so people can take a peek.
Yes.
We have a call every morning for the show.
You don't have to do
and
this.
We line up what we're going to do.
You're going to make me look bad.
And
no need for this.
And how we're going to slot each thing.
Do I ever make you look bad?
Every day. So we had the show meeting this morning. Shout out to Kyle, who still is the only one that uses his camera during these meetings.
Which I don't understand. I thought we were doing it so we could use cameras. I thought that's why we were having video.
Well,
meetings.
you could have put the camera on today and helped support Kyle, but you didn't.
But I got on
people to see my beautiful face.
Nobody had their camera on. That's been the precedent. That's set.
I was literally the only person there when you showed up and my camera was on.
I mean, since we started doing this, since we started doing the video meetings.
So we have this call, and Ramie presents a segment idea.
Yes.
Which is John Hollinger's free agency list and projection, top 25
free agents. Yes.
And Ramie said, well, let's look at these guys. Let's look at 5. At first, Ramie said, let's look at 10, which this is usually a thing where Ramie thinks we have 45 minutes each segment. And then I have to kind of pull the reins back.
I'm ambitious.
So Ramie, ambitious Ramie was like, let's do like 10 or 12 names. I was like, well,
I'd say overly.
We might want to settle on 5.
And I want to get this correct.
And so Ramie said, okay, so I'll send you the 5 names of the players that I want to talk about with the salaries that John Hollinger has earmarked for them. Right? We all agree on how that conversation went.
Yes.
Okay.
I have no fight back or defense. I've already owned it.
That meeting ended at 10:30.
Yes.
At 12:30. If we want to be, technical and specific, at 12:20, I put into the chat in bold so it could stand out.
I didn't even see this.
Yep.
Who are the 5 players we're looking at
That's
from
on
the
me.
Hollinger list and his projections?
It's on me. I was on the exercise bike at that time.
And this went unanswered, folks. Shockingly enough,
My fault.
So-
I have the 5 names right
so
in front of me.
so
though.
we go
So we
to
could have gone right into it. I've had the 5 names in front of me since we got back from break.
I thought people.
But you
I want to
thought
get this correct.
I
you
thought
throw your
people-
host under the bus.
No,
That's what you thought.
I thought people would enjoy this, and
Yes.
people, I mean me and Simone and Kyle.
Right.
So I love it because we go to this 90-second break, and Ramie, the epiphany happens, where Ramie realizes, oh crap, I did not send the names to Kyle because Kyle was supposed to run this segment. So Ramie just goes into the talkback and goes, hey, did I ever send those names to you? Knowing he didn't. And then Kyle.
Before he can even finish his sentence, I'm hitting him with the shaking my head no.
Yeah, it's on me. I don't know why.
So now I'm completely unprepared for this.
Why
So
we
if
have
my
to-
answers suck.
You don't need to know before. It's
Ramie's
better
fault.
if you don't know before. It's reactionary.
All right, let's get to
Simone.
Let's get to a
Thank
music
you.
bed. Authentic like Vanderpump Rules, right,
Little
Simone?
buy or sell, yes.
Completely authentic,
Off the
honest,
cuff,
and
baby.
transparent.
Let's start with number 5.
Number 5
on John Hollinger's list
On
of the top
Hollinger's
25 free agents with price tags.
Oh, and the idea is that we're going to buy or sell.
Buy or sell
how much we're
at
willing.
this price. Yes. Miles Bridges, 25-year-old power forward, Charlotte. The price tag John Hollinger puts on him, $29,689,570.
Ooh, $29 million for Mikal Bridges.
Yes. Again, this isn't the Kings. This is just generally speaking, in or out on these guys at that price tag.
I'm in.
Really?
I'm in.
Even with all the off-court stuff.
No, that's the wrong Bridges.
Oh, Miles Bridges.
I thought you said Mikal Bridges.
I said
You
Miles.
did.
Did
I'm
I?
out.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. My
Miles.
bad.
If it's Miles Bridges, I'm out.
We're off to a
Dyslexia.
great
Good
start.
Lord.
I'm
Miles
out.
Bridges.
Out.
Yeah, I
$29
think
million
I'm
was
out,
what
too.
happened off the court.
Yeah, a
Out.
little too
See,
much
I heard
baggage.
him say that. I was like, which one is he talking about? And then he said Charlotte Hornets. I'm like, okay, I
That's
know
my
which
bad.
one he's talking about now.
This one blew my mind. Kristaps Porzingis, center,
Oh.
27 years old.
The unicorn.
Washington,
Yes.
$39,132,351.
Get all the hot here.
Getting the vapors.
$39 million. No thanks.
That's way too much for Kristaps Porzingis,
Here's
right?
the thing, he might get more.
You have to.
No.
You have to look at what he's done the last 4 or 5 years, and not the better moments of the last
And his
year or two.
contract year. Yeah. Yes.
I'm out on Kristaps.
Also out. At number 3 on
Number
John
3.
Hollinger's list of top 25 free agents, Fred VanVleet, point guard, 29, Toronto, player option at a price tag of $46,873,792.
Matt Ishbia in Phoenix might say yes.
$46,873,792.
How much? I'm going to ask you this.
Yes.
How much did LeBron James make this year?
$28 million, I'm going to say. No.
$44 million.
So Fred VanVleet is going to out-earn LeBron James.
Giannis made $42 million.
I'm out. I am 100% out.
Me too.
He's priceless.
I enjoy Fred VanVleet. I don't enjoy him that much. I would, for me, and I get it, the market's the market. He might get that. Hollinger was in a front office for years. He knows what he's talking about. I'm not paying more than $25 million for Fred VanVleet.
Same.
Like what Jalen Brunson, you look at that deal. You want Jalen Brunson's contract with the Knicks is a joke if VanVleet goes out there and gets $40+ million.
I think we know who the top 2 free agents are going to be on Hollinger's list. It's the price tag that's associated with them that's surprising them.
Okay.
James Harden, shooting guard, 33, Philadelphia, player option, which he's expected to exercise. At $47 million, $75,783. $47 million for James Harden to come and make it rain in your city. In or out?
And depending on the city, he could make it rain multiple ways.
Yes.
Heyo.
I'm out.
I'm out.
You know what? Let's go for it.
Really?
James Harden is
Too
going to be
unreliable,
34
man.
in August.
Yeah, and he's 34.
It's going to be 34 in August.
Nah, man, I'm good.
He has not consistently been in shape the last few years. He is known to enjoy the nightlife, which is fine, to each his own.
Good for him.
But it has arguably gotten in the way.
Seek your happiness, bro.
Of his basketball success. He's been a complete coin flip in the postseason, most of it not going well.
Can't do
I'm
it.
out.
Can't do it.
But how desperate
Can't do
am
it.
I? On a scale of 1 to 76ers, how desperate am I?
I'm not that desperate. Not desperate enough to let it cloud my judgment and think that guy's going to come and help me win a championship. He's not.
Question number 2, am I Tillman Fertitta? Because if the answer is yes, I'm paying him that money.
Maybe.
You know, it's like one of these things where you look at the player and you got to look at the player for who he is right now. And James Harden's athleticism is nowhere near what it used to be like 4 years ago. And he wasn't a great athlete to begin with. He wasn't a great athlete at Arizona State. Sorry to Amil Fragoso. But he just wasn't.
And at number one, Kyrie Irving, point guard, 31,
Out.
Dallas.
Out. I don't even need to hear the price tag. Out.
$50 million.
Out.
$555,000.
Dude,
$884.
His agent walks into the room and puts that number on the table. I get out of that room quicker than Dave Cavell did at the Nevada State Legislature.
Is he still here?
Meeting yesterday.
Man. All of those.
I run out of that room like my ass is on fire.
I'm out. I think all 5 of those are bad signings at that price tag.
I agree. 0 for 5.
I'm out on all of them. No, thank you.
Is he still here? Or?
Some big numbers, especially with the new CBA kicking in next offseason.
Yeah. I mean, you threw out the $39 million for Porzingis. He's eligible to make $45 million a year.
That cannot happen.
I mean, I'm eligible to make $5 million a year.
Really?
Maybe even more than that. I mean, who's to say what my cap
I'm
is?
eligible to make as much as anybody wants to pay me.
Stephen A. Smith's making $12 million a year.
Nick Cattles is getting that mid-level exception.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, you sign these guys. Like, this is all I'll say. There are going to be some massive mistakes made this offseason.
Yes.
With the free agency class, the fact that there's a lot of teams that are going to be desperate, and the CBA, again, that changes next offseason, which is going to, I'll mention it, cripple teams that are in the tax bracket, which is the tax apron. And if you're in the extra super duper uber tax apron, like the Clippers and the Warriors, there go your sign and trade deal options. There goes your mid-level exception at any level of the mid-level. You know, there goes the idea of trading guys into cap space. There goes the idea of combining players to accumulate salary, to bring back one big salary. All of that stuff is taken from you. There's going to be bad mistakes. It'd be like someone who signs a 4-year deal for, $45 million a year, and that team is going to be screwed in 365 days.
And it's being leaked out right now that the Wizards are planning a full-scale rebuild in the midst of negotiating Porzingis' contract.
Yep.
Good luck with that.
You don't want to know why? You can't do it. Can't do it, won't do it. Like, you can't give Porzingis $40 million when you're paying Beal what you're paying him, and you're going to walk into that new CBA. You cannot. I understand the CBA is an ice cream headache for all of us.
I can't do it.
I'm trying to break it down to the basic form. If you have two guys,
my brain though, that's the problem.
If you have two guys who are on like max money or super max money, and they're making like 85 to 100 million combined, it is going to be so difficult to build a contending team with that kind of model with the new CBA. Not impossible, depends on the two players, but it's going to be so difficult. I'll give you an example. The Celtics, 2 years from now, not now, the Celtics window is 2 years. Jaylen Brown, if he gets a supermax offer, then Tatum next year gets a supermax offer. Those guys combined are going to be making like $108 million. It's so ridiculous. They're going to be making like 65 to 70% of the cap.
Isn't the argument that the cap is going to go up because they negotiate a new television contract, and so it'll only be like 50%? I've heard that being like the explanation.
But the cap goes up and the other deals go up. So you can't go out there and make like a Malcolm Brogdon trade if you're the Celtics in that spot. Because you got other guys. You're not
it's all relative.
You've got Rob Williams. You've got Marcus Smart. You got Grant Williams, who's a restricted free agent this offseason. You look up and you got like 6 guys that are making your salary cap. You need 9 more players to fill your roster. With all of those things that I mentioned off the table, the other tricks. Now, there could be other tricks that we don't know about, but it's going to be so difficult.
It's going to be a difficult puzzle to put together.
Callbacks coming up.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. The King season might be over, but Sactown Sports coverage never stops.
It's probably one of the best starting points I could have had starting in the NBA, Sacramento.
Stay tuned all off-season to Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
But do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
Greetings from M&S Auto on El Camino, just off the Cap City Freeway. And a big thanks to our repeat customers for letting us be your favorite car dealer. Repeat customers make us proud. M&S customers know that they're going to find the car, 4x4, or SUV they want. They'll get treated like family and save thousands. Whether you're a repeat customer or a first-time buyer, welcome. M&S Auto, the intelligent car buying experience. MSAutogroup.com.
Hey, Scott, you look great.
Yeah, I'm feeling good and have a new job.
No, there's something different about the way you look.
To be honest, a few months ago, I had an amazing robotic hair transplant procedure at XL Medicine. It's called the artist procedure.
No way. Your hair looks completely natural, and you don't even have a scar. How did they do that?
Dude, the artist system is amazing. I have this fantastic hairline, and I'm happy with my results. XL Medicine could probably help you too, buddy.
Using the artist procedure, Dr. Singh and Dr. Graywall can target and harvest healthy hair follicles with micron-level accuracy from the back of your head and transplant them where you need it. The procedure is painless, and you'll be back doing your regular activities in a couple of days. Ask Dr. Singh and Dr. Graywall at XL Medicine about the artist procedure. Call today, 916-932-4470. That's 932-4470 for a complimentary in-person or Zoom consultation, or on the web at xlmedicine.com. That's EXCEL medicine.com. See what the artist procedure can do for you.
These are actors and not real patients.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings prospect Sasha Vinchenkov exited Game 2 of the Greek League Finals with an apparent right knee injury. He was carried off the floor and is receiving medical care, including an MRI, to determine the severity of the injury. Cattles and Ramie will keep you posted with updates as we get them. Denver Nuggets clapped back in historic fashion last night for Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray became the first duo to post 30-point triple-doubles in the 109-94 win, dousing the Miami Heat amid the palm trees of Kaseya Center last night. Nuggets take the 2-1 series lead. Heat looking to get back in the win column when they host Game 4 of the Finals tomorrow. Back on the left coast, gotta rack up Nevada's special sessions on the A's relocation, highlight the latest alien free agency fancy notes and tap into some Cattles and Ramie Thursday funkiness. If you miss anything, rewatch the fun over at Sactown Sports' very own YouTube page or download us wherever you enjoy your podcasts. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Kyle, please hit that call back.
I'm going to light up these phone lines.
The phone is ringing, and we are checking to see who's on the line.
Long time listener, first time caller.
News, gossip, a story.
Okay, who's the next victim?
It's the callback
on Cattles and Ramie.
All right, earlier today, our friend Amil Fragoso from SactownSports.com. Check out that website. Tons of great content there, and for free. All
his coverage of a mandatory minicamp up there.
Fantastic stuff.
Yes, sir.
You got Amil, you've got Frankie Carticelli as well. A lot of things happen. A lot of stuff going on. And Amil was, I guess we could say, he was sort of kind of on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline, even though he was in the studio. He was a hotline in the studio. Fine.
What is Folsom Lake Honda?
It is the
your one-stop Honda shop.
And so Amil was on that. And we asked Amil, we were talking Niners, obviously. That's his neck of the woods. How this quote-unquote competition between Trey Lance and Sam Darnold is shaking up.
It's been a bit 50-50, I would say. It's Sam Darnold's getting the first team reps one day, then it's Trey Lance getting the first team reps the other day. It's a lot of back and forth. They want to give equal opportunity to both guys to present an argument to say, hey, maybe if Brock Purdy's not healthy week one, you can be the starter. So they want to see and play it out the whole year. Even Brandon Allen's getting some good reps right now, not with the first team, but just still getting some reps and still getting involved there. And so they're trying to create a quarterback room, not just have it be a competition, a room of guys that want to be there for each other and want to see each other get better. And so that's kind of the philosophy they have right now.
Are you impressed by the quarterback room they've put together?
No, not really.
Love it. I love direct, powerful answers. I have strong opinions.
I have faith in Kyle Shanahan and that he can get the most out of that room. But impressed? No, I'm not. That's a big word, Nick. And none of those guys have done a lot to necessarily impress me. Brock Purdy is the most impressive of them. And the guy had 8 games at the NFL level. That's way too small a sample size for me to look at that quarterback room and go, oh, I'm impressed. No, not impressed.
I want to get this correct.
Color me impressed.
No.
This is fantastical. Yeah, there's a lot of questions. A lot of questions in that quarterback room. We'll see if it works out. Again, I would agree with Ramie. Kyle Shanahan has proven that he can get the most out of average quarterback play. So I guess they got that going for them. But I've said it multiple times over the last few months. It's about winning a title. If you don't win a Super Bowl because you fall just short at the quarterback position, then that was your philosophy falling short. Back to Amil Fragoso. A lot of talk about Brandon Aiyuk this offseason, and even more talk the last couple of weeks since the guys have been showing up at the facility. Here's Amil on the Aiyuk expectations.
Brandon Aiyuk is a star. I really fully believe that. I know there's some bias, ASU and stuff, but I watched him play at Arizona State. And I could see the route running and the cutting even there, and it's only gotten better since then. And what was missing for Aiyuk, though, was the all-around offensive ability. He hated blocking. Didn't want to block, didn't want to be a team player. That's why he got benched rookie year. That's not a thing anymore. He's a full team player. He's committed. And what's changed with Aiyuk now is that he's a leader. He's out there being more vocal, being more verbal. I mean, every single player said it who talked to the podium. They go, who's the toughest guy to recover? Diamador Lenore said, Brandon Aiyuk, no question. His route running is unmatched.
Yep.
Debo Samuel said, you can't cover that boy in a phone booth right now. I mean, these guys, they love this dude, and all the offseason trade speculation only made him better, it seems.
I think Aiyuk's going to have a very good season. I think he's a really good football player, but I do think some people are getting a little bit ahead of their skis talking about Aiyuk because there's a lot of extenuating circumstances that's going to impact his play. Quarterback position, talent at that spot, other guys that are going to be catching the football a lot, like, CMC and Debo and Kittle and Gray, who they drafted last year. He's got to show up. So there's a lot of cats on this team that can make some plays. So, again, I really like him as a player.
You're going to have to spread the ball around.
Just not sure of the opportunity.
Keep everybody happy and keep defenses on their toes. that limits how much Brandon Aiyuk can do within the system, within the framework of what Kyle Shanahan and that offense are trying to do.
Let's get to one more.
Let's.
Amil Fragoso sharing his incredible insight regarding the 49ers. Yes, I'm stalling to get to the third cut. There it is.
Okay.
How about Christian McCaffrey? Will he be even better?
Yeah, he's going to be better. Absolutely, because he was here from the start of OTAs, the start of voluntary workouts at ground zero. He wanted to relearn the playbook and relearn all this stuff. I just wrote in my draft takeaways today, the Christian McCaffrey trade was highway robbery. They robbed Carolina at gunpoint. That's how bad it was. You got him for a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth next year.
Mm-hmm.
That's it? Lead up to give a first for this guy who's just turned 27 years old in his prime? I mean, it's more than just his play on the field. It's how he prepares himself, how he prepares his body, his workout routine. He runs like a sprinter, like an Olympic sprinter. There was a play at practice yesterday. They're just doing 11 on 11. It's a handoff. McCaffrey got held, and the ref didn't see it. McCaffrey furiously goes over to the referee and chews him out for 20 seconds. This is practice. This is OTA.
This is a mandatory minicamp.
Trent Williams had to pull him back. This is just the way this guy is wired. It's just if you know Christian, you know he's just a different cat. He's a different animal, and that's what makes Christian so awesome. He's a tone setter and a leader.
CMC is really good, to state the obvious. But I would vehemently disagree with Amil's point that they robbed the Panthers at gunpoint for what they paid for CMC. No, they didn't. As great as CMC is, he's a running back.
I don't know if I'd term it a robbery, but that's looking like a really good deal, especially when you consider it's 27 years old.
They paid a lot.
Yes.
I would not term it that way. I would not say that they stole him.
That's strong language. That is strong language.
They got a mortgage on Christian McCaffrey.
Did you say strong or moderately strong?
Pretty strong. Moderately strong.
Moderately strong.
Yeah.
Seems like it fits.
Not as strong as the you people you've thrown around a couple times this week already, but
you know what this is? I know what that is. That is the response to me throwing you under the bus last segment about how you failed the show. And you were waiting. It was in the back pocket. You found your opening, and you landed the punch. Are you proud of yourself?
So proud. You have no idea, man.
Could not be any more proud than I am right now.
So happy with me. Oh, man.
If you really bust one out tomorrow, one of those you people, I mean, I'm going to lose it back here.
You all know what I'm saying. You're the worst.
Oh, I definitely know what you're saying.
You
got to twist it.
You
what, Nick?
You. Damn you. All right. Just how many non-human spacecraft does the United States have? Find out next.
The Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Skies will stay clear through the night tonight, with overnight lows dropping down into the mid to upper 50s. Beautiful day for Friday. Sunshine, a breeze, and a high of 82. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
A nice warm shower is not so nice if it doesn't drain like it should. Well, let's fix that right now. Get a sewer inspection, including mainline drain cabling and video analysis, just $97. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air, Bonnie.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
At Wells Fargo, if you accidentally overdraw your account, we give you an extra day grace period to avoid the overdraft fee. What if everything came with an extra day?
Sunday night and I have the Sunday scaries.
Honey, don't be scared. Every weekend comes with an extra day now.
All right. TGI Sunday.
It helps to have an extra day. When it comes to overdrafts, you can with Wells Fargo.
Visit wellsfargo.com/getextra to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Subject to timing requirements and the bank's funds availability policy. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Hey guys, did you know June is Men's Health Month? Prioritize your health and address those issues you've been ignoring. Revive Men's Health Sacramento has guaranteed low T and ED solutions. Book your free exam and T-check today and save $199. And find out how you can get a free 1-month supply of custom ED medication. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit revivemenshealth.com today.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. It's normal. With CalHope's free and secure mental health resources, it's easy to get the help you and your loved ones need when you need it the most. Call or text our warm line at 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
One brings Mackloff magic, while the other, we're still trying to figure that out.
Paddles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
All right, let's get back to the aliens. A lot of alien talk this week.
Have to.
Deserved.
It's our due diligence.
Deserve
our
it.
duty to you, the listener.
It is. It is. Earlier in the show, we told you that 2 younger men in Vegas claimed that they saw 8-foot, 9-foot, 10-foot beings in their backyard with big shiny eyes and a big mouth. And at about the same time, the young males called 911 to report this. A little bit before that, there is a cop cam that shows some kind of object falling from the sky. Shooting star.
Asteroid.
I'd say Halley's Comet, but that's like once every 75 years, so that doesn't quite fit. But maybe, just maybe, an alien aircraft. Maybe. Who's to say? So that was interesting. That was something that was pretty unexpected when I woke up this morning seeing that story. Right after the whistleblower, David Grush, has come out earlier this week on the record saying that the United States has non-human aircraft, however he termed it. It's pretty much what he meant, in their possession. And then we had the audio from Grush, I think it was yesterday, saying that there was, what was the term he used? A number of,
yes.
There are a number of aircraft. And there are a number of also aliens that we have found. But we want to talk about the spacecraft because we were wondering how many of these things we have.
Because he said, when he said a number of, I was like, man, what are we talking about here?
So Michael Schellenberger, who is the author of Apocalypse Never and many other things, he had a long Twitter thread. I did not read all of it. I read some of it. Here's what he wrote in part. While David Grush has not shared written evidence in an unclassified way, he did provide classified intelligence reports, emails, and other documents to Thomas A. Monheim, the Intelligence Community Inspector General, as the law allows. So he shared it with the Inspector General, and he's gone under oath, and he said what he has said. As for photographs, and this gets to the heart of Ramie's issue earlier in the week, photographs, videos. Ramie wanted photographs. He wanted videos of these downed aircraft.
Clear and visual evidence,
of these dead aliens that we found.
Something clear, something that's not just this blurry light in the sky.
Well, here's the problem. The Defense Department prohibited Grush from sharing pictures.
He's sharing everything else.
They prohibit him from sharing the photographs. Apparently he does. He said he did have some kind of visual evidence, but the Defense Department shut him down. Said that's going a little bit too far. So my guess is the Defense Department wasn't going to prohibit him from saying things because it's his word, right? Even if it's under oath, like he can't necessarily prove it. He might be a very impressive witness, but he's not necessarily the end-all, be-all. If he comes out there with photos or video, then it's done. And there's also a confidential matter, I'm sure, about, the nature of the pictures, where they were taken, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
So the Defense Department shut that down, to answer your question from earlier in the week. Also from Schellenberg, he says, and now multiple sources close to the matter have come forward to tell the public that Grush's core claims are accurate. The individuals are all either high-ranking intelligence officials, former intelligence officials, or individuals who we could verify were involved in U.S. government UAP efforts for 3 or more decades each. So we're talking people that have been dealing with this stuff for more than 30 years, have come forward, and they have corroborated what Grush has said. 2 of those people have testified, including as recently as last year, to Congress. This is again heavy. Now, as far as the spacecrafts, Ramie.
Yes.
And how many?
Yes.
The individuals that I just described to you, with all of this experience and all of this legitimacy and credibility, the individuals said they had seen or been presented with quote-unquote credible and verifiable, unquote, evidence that the U.S. government and U.S. military contractors possess at least 12 or more alien spacecraft.
Honestly, I thought the number would be bigger.
You're never happy. You're never impressed.
I really did.
Until an alien lands in our parking lot here and walks into the studio and Ramie's able to interview said alien, he ain't going to be impressed.
No, I thought the number would be bigger. That's all. That tells me, Nick, that this is a somewhat more recent phenomenon. That if we've been visited, and we do indeed have these spacecraft, and this man is being truthful in the leaks that he's putting out there, that would indicate to me that this is a relatively new phenomena of being visited by aircrafts of non-human origin.
It's either that or the aliens are really good at what they do.
Or they're really good at what they do, because if they've been visiting for a long time, and the U.S.
You use if, so you're still not believing.
If they've,
let me ask you this.
Because I'm a shoe-in for hate of the year.
No, I'm entirely open to the possibility that they exist and have visited.
What would totally sell you?
Clear, concise visual evidence.
So if somebody just showed up with a picture, you'd believe the picture. You wouldn't believe it was doctored in any way.
No, I mean a picture that was also corroborated by other witnesses. Like an event. There has to be something where a lot of people see it and it's caught on camera in some way, shape, or form.
Because I have a feeling that you're setting yourself up to be disappointed. Because I don't know if we're ever going to
get that. Well, that's okay.
Well, the clear photo or video also to go along with like corroboration from people that were there. Because I don't know how many people were there.
As I said before, unless these things are finding the middle of nowhere for every crash landing or the middle of the ocean, there's got to be people who are seeing these things go down and hit the ground.
So you're not impressed with 12 or more
There's
aircraft?
just got to be. No, it's not that I'm not impressed. I'm just trying to put the pieces together.
Yeah.
And
literally and figuratively.
And to me, that this indicates that if indeed this is true and we've been visited, that it's a relatively recent phenomena, because our government policy would have always been to hide these aircrafts and the fact that these aircrafts exist from the public. So if this has been happening for a long time, I would think that by now we have more than a dozen.
Well, the people who have commented on this and have come forward, again, they've been doing this kind of thing for 3 decades. So the department has actually, has been around for at least 30 years. Doesn't mean that there was any kind of, evidence or something that you could act upon until maybe, like you're saying, recently.
Mm-hmm.
But you go back at least 30 years where people thought this could be a thing, right? This could be a thing. This is 1993 at least. And we know, Area 51, all that stuff, that's been around for a while. So I don't know, a dozen aircraft. I mean, I just kind of think of it like if you walked into the facility where they have these things, if they have these things, that's a vast amount of space. Like these aircraft have to be pretty
an
big, right?
hangar. Yeah, you're talking about an airplane
Which is the
hangar.
other question about the Vegas story.
Which Vegas story?
About the
police, yeah.
Okay, yes.
You got to imagine that the aircraft that fell to the earth was really, really large. Would you not go to the neighbor's house and be like, hey,
did you see this?
Did you see this or hear anything crash into the backyard?
Yeah, and how big is their backyard? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, if the alien was 18 inches, like we talked about yesterday, and it was a tiny aircraft,
could very much fly under the radar, so to speak.
But these guys, their eyewitness account said that 8 feet, 9 feet, 10 feet tall.
Right.
That's a good point. What is the probability that the spacecraft is only in the backyard of the people? Like, wouldn't it go through multiple yards, maybe hit a fence or something?
Didn't hit a house, didn't hit a fence, didn't hit multiple yards, just neatly snuck into this space where this person
I'm highly skeptical whenever civilians, so to speak, report these sightings and encounters. I'm more apt to believe it when it's, government official whistleblower.
I agree. And maybe we do have our first visual evidence of an alien on this planet.
Victor Wembanyama?
Because there is a TikTok story that surfaced of a 3-day-old baby who was lifting, I believe it's a her, let's just say was lifting their head, crawling and talking. 3 days old.
I saw this.
I didn't talk until I was like 3.
What is normal?
Then I never shut up.
As far as lifting the head and crawling. And
that takes a while.
And the baby blabber. You know what I mean?
Talking
could be that was more helpful.
Talking could
I can feel you guys kind of looking towards me for that answer, and I don't got it. I would estimate a couple of months, right?
Talking is usually I think around a year or so.
Yes.
I just Googled this, and Pampers.com tells me that many babies learn to crawl sometime between 7 and 10 months.
There you go.
Good Lord.
And this baby was crawling on day 3.
Was this baby overdue? Was it cooking up a little longer than babies usually? You know what I mean?
They did not give us the details.
Was it born a year old? What are we talking about here?
It definitely wasn't that.
How does that happen?
They did not give us the details, unfortunately.
If you're a parent and your 3-day-old baby is lifting its head and crawling and talking, are you proud or are you freaked out?
No,
I'm a little freaked.
proud.
I'm a little freaked out.
I'm proud. And we're going to gymnastics.
Kid's going to be an Olympic athlete
Yes.
at 11 years old.
Yeah. That's freaky, man. But congrats to the parents, and I hope that baby does well in life.
Thanks to
Welcome to the world. That may or may not include aliens.
Thanks to Kyle. Thanks to Simone. Great job. Appreciate you, Ramie. Good stuff.
Thank you, sir.
Everybody be well and good and safe tonight. Enjoy yourself. We're back tomorrow for a Friday. I'm sure it'll be
it's gonna be a fun one.
Sure it'll be an experience. Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports. See.
I want to get this correct. You've all called us in here for a special session and are asking minimally for the state to give you all $36 million per year for the next 5 years for a taxpayer-funded stadium at the same time that the governor has vetoed funding for summer school, a bill to support children's mental health, a bill requiring paid family leave, all because the governor said we couldn't afford them. Can you explain to me why we need to provide hundreds of millions of dollars for a billionaire team to come to the Las Vegas Strip on some of the most valuable property in the world if we can't provide funding for critical resources like summer school and healthcare?
Steve Hill.
Man, these girls are smart. 3 stacks, these girls are smart. Play your part. Play your part.
The fact that you're capable of this unbelievable. You're a Dementor. I know you like Harry Potter.
All new spring deals are here at